All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Market Open. We are here today on a Saturday morning. S&P 500 right now is green. Tesla red a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Dude, this is so different. It obviously feels the same, but it feels so different because it's not the market open. It's not the market close. It's just a Saturday night. 9 freaking p.m. on the East Coast. How's everybody doing? Hope everyone's having a good day. All right, so first of all, these lights. This thing looks crazy, right? I look like Majestic with these lights, right? It looks kind of insane with these lights. I realized on these lights there's a setting. And if I press this button right here, it's going to change to that. You see how it just got like a blue? And then if I change this one right here, it's going to go blue as well. Or like, yeah, there you go. So now it looks like normal. But I didn't know I could have had the yellow version of that. And that's what I had as I started the stream. And so if we want to give it a little bit of a sunset vibe, we could kind of do that, to be honest. But yeah, we're here. Hope everyone's doing well. So I think this one's just going to be more of a fun stream. We're just going to sit and talk and, nothing too crazy. Yeah, we'll talk stocks. Any questions on stocks, we'll get through that as well. Got a bunch of stuff, a bunch of little topics that I could talk about as well that I've been pontificating about all day. But in general, it's a Saturday night. I've been meaning to do these Saturday streams for a long time. What's up? Thank you, everybody, for being here. But I just haven't done it. And so today I was like, you know what? Let's do a Saturday stream. Let's get this on the road. Jason says, howdy from Connecticut, East Coast. What's up? That's awesome. The Lakers are playing today too. I forgot the Lakers are on. I like watching the Lakers, and I don't watch basketball, but I love LeBron, so I like watching the Lakers. I'm not enjoying this series, so I don't even know if I want to watch the Lakers tonight, but we'll see how it plays out. Garcia, what's up? Blake, what's up? Mario, my snap calls were up 700% and they opened worthless, trying to learn more on options. Well, you and me both had the same experience this week in regards to IV Crush and also Theta Decay based on the strikes on those calls. Dwight from San Francisco, what's up? Connor, what's up? Samud, what's up? Ryan, what's up? Morpheus. Oh, I know Morpheus. That's from The Matrix because I've seen it now. By the way, Matrix 2 sucked. Matrix 3, I couldn't even finish it. That's how much it sucked, dude. Absolutely sucked. All of them legitimately sucked. The first one was good, but it wasn't like Interstellar type of good. The rest of them sucked. Okay, hold on. Let me increase the brightness here. So this is the actual one. So this is the actual one I use. This is yellow. That's mild. And then this is blue. So this is what we use on the market open. This is like pure yellow. That's too yellow. All right, let's keep that one. So let me change this one too. This one I have to change a little. Okay, there you go. Yeah, now this is more market open vibes. Or not just market open vibes, but streaming vibes in general. Okay, so what are we going to do for the stream? Well, basically it's just going to follow the simple Q&A format that we do on the end of the market open, market close streams. And we'll just talk. That's it. I mean, I have some little clips that I have here that I want to show you guys here and there, but we'll just kind of vibe with it. There's no really time limit on this. So, I mean, we'll probably go for an hour, maybe more than an hour. Just keep it going and see what happens. All right, let's get started. No joke. I saw Interstellar like 4 to 5 times in theaters. Dude, I was watching a breakdown on Interstellar the other day on YouTube. It was insane, dude. It reminded me how much I loved Interstellar and how good of a film it actually was. I'm gonna try to do timestamps in this as well, just so it's a little organized for people to see. Oh, by the way, that Snowflake pod that Kris and I were gonna do, that Kris told me he didn't want to do it today because he's still learning a little bit more on Snowflake, researching more on Snowflake, and like learning about the technicals, which is interesting. I think he's like questioning a little bit of his thesis right now. I'm pretty sure he's bullish, but he's trying to like make sure he fully understands it. I think that LLM shit is fucking stupid, dude. I think it's dumb. But we'll probably do that pod like next week once he like fully understands his thesis. He's probably trying to pick strikes on his spreads, true, because I'm sure he's trying to figure out what exact options they should do. But we'll probably talk about that next week as well. Kris doesn't want to get roasted by the Palantir call. Dude, the Snowflake Arctic LLM is fucking dumb in my opinion. It's like, it does not make sense. but it will drive some marginal revenue growth for them, I imagine. I just don't know if it's going to be like an AIP type of growth curve that that is what AIP is for Palantir. So yeah, we'll probably talk about that next week and keep going. Christian says, I use Snowflake. What do you want to know? I want to know, is this stock going to ever like 5x? Like, I want to know if this goes from 150 to 800 one day. I want to know if that happens, because I think Palantir at what, 20 can go to 100 one day. I think that's possible. Snowflake, I don't know. I don't know if that could happen. Okay, cool. So let me get to some of these questions here. Thank you, everybody, for being here again. Hope you guys are doing well. Zachary says, what's up, Amit? First timer, but follow you on X. Pumped to join. Shout out to you, Zachary. Thank you for being here. I got this awesome DM, and I'm going to give them a shout out on the market open. But this guy and his wife, his name is Krishna, and his wife is Medhi. Shout out to both of you if you come across this. They said they're in San Francisco, and they watch the market open every day at 5:45 a.m. their time. Starts 8:45 a.m. on the East Coast, and they both go to the gym every morning, and then they come back to their home. So if they go to the gym, they must be up by like 4 a.m. right? They go to the gym, get back home by 5:45 or like 4:30 ish. They're up, and then they tune into the show, and it's so cool because they're like, we watch you every single day, and it was just the most awesome message that I got, and it was super cool. We were just talking over the weekend, so I'm gonna give them a shout out on the market open on Monday. But thank you, everyone who's here and who's joining into the streams. Lena, SoFi earnings on Monday. Okay, so should we talk about SoFi first? Are you doing the Snowflake pod with Kris next week? Next week, that'll come out. I did a little bit of DD on not Snowflakes, SoFi this today. Okay, and I've done this in the past, but it was so long ago that I forgot about this. Because, all right, so first let's talk about SoFi. That'll be our first topic for a little bit, and then we'll go from there. So first of all, the picture that I put on the thumbnail of this, it was attached to a caption that I didn't put on the YouTube thumbnail, but I did put on the Twitter thumbnail. Someone says, hi, Amit, when will you continue your Palantir philosophical series? You only did one episode. You know, it's a good question. I will probably do it on my second channel, Amit Content Clips. I'm going to put that in the chat. You guys can subscribe to that. That's going to have all my episodes where I'm making videos about hobbits.ai. That's my LLM that I built for Palantir. The Robinhood interview clips, like basically any extra Amit Clips content, it's on this channel. And so you guys can subscribe to that if you want to subscribe, and you'll get a bunch more Palantir content there as well, where I'll like hyper specifically talk about one piece of Palantir news using the Hobbits LLM that I built. So if you want to subscribe to that, you can check that out as well. Okay, so this is the picture I put out about SoFi. Jeremy, what's up? Oh, Medha, they're in the chat. We are watching you right now, Medha and Krishna. Dude, I'm so happy. I'm gonna give you guys Medha, shout out to you. Krishna messaged me over the weekend and told me that you guys love watching the show. I'm gonna give you guys a shout out on the market open regardless. But that was so cool, dude. He was like, we watch you every morning. That kind of hit me, dude. I was like, damn, that's like a husband and wife, you know, tuning in every morning. And you know, the first thing that went through my head, I was just like, damn, I wonder what jokes I make that are like that a husband and wife could both laugh at together, you know? Because what if it's a joke that's like, I don't know, what if it's a joke that just like it's you wouldn't expect two people who are married to each other to laugh at the same time. And I'm just thinking like all the laughter and humor I bring to the couples of planet Earth. Like it's actually really humbling. You know what I mean? It's very humbling. So I'm happy you guys enjoy. And Krishna said you guys laugh at the joke. So I appreciate you guys laughing. Okay, so this is what I said. Need SoFi earnings to get me as wet as this lake on a Monday morning. You know, what I did today is I went for a walk. I have not gone for a walk in God knows how long. And I finally took a little break from the cowbell this morning and from the charts. And I just went and I took a walk. And I really, you know, I used to take walks, the lake near my house. I took walks near that lake in 2021 and 2022 religiously. Like I'm talking about, I would go around that thing like 5 times, which is basically a mile. Basically, the whole thing is like a mile. So I would just walk 5. I would just be thinking and walking and thinking and walking. And then when you start growing older and you start executing and doing stuff, you stop having time to like think because you're doing shit, right? And so I would just be thinking. So I don't walk anymore because, you know, there's not that much time in the day to walk. But on Saturday, I woke up early and I was like, you know what, I should go for a walk. So I got some Starbucks. Usually get Dunkin' Donuts during the day for the weekdays and Starbucks on the weekends. And then I went for a walk and then I saw the lake and I was like, water is wet, right? Like water has to be wet. And so then I got this brilliant idea that was like, well, if SoFi could make me as wet as this water, if they come out with these good earnings, then things could go well. So having said that, let's talk a little bit about SoFi, because I have some thoughts and things I want to share, and then we'll keep going. We'll keep going more in depth about this. Jed says, wife definitely knows who you are. She's like the Indian dude from New York with the cowboy. Yeah, basically, dude. basically, that's what that's how the wives or the significant others have to be thinking of it. Shout out to Meta and Krishna, dude. It's so cool. It's so cool that you guys. This is the first time a couple reached out to me that they watch it together, and I was just like, damn, this is like super dope, dude. That like two people, you know, who like are married to each other watch the same thing. When in reality, that shouldn't be that crazy, because like a couple theoretically has the TV open and there's like one thing open and both are watching it. But the fact that you both enjoy it, that's awesome. Super awesome. What did you drink at Starbucks? Caramel latte. I know, caramel latte. It's not the best. Vitaly is the Enphase support group at 9 p.m. I'm late. Sorry. I asked Vitaly if I should buy Enphase today. He said no, so I'm just not going to buy it. You know, I asked him for his financial advice. He said no, so I'm not going to buy it. Okay, so let's talk about SoFi. On Friday night on the market close, right, I had some comments about why I'm not as bullish on SoFi. And one of the comments was that it is just a bank and that the multiple on the bank is not that, like SoFi's multiple is actually not that insane given their price to book, which is historically what a price to book is on a bank. So having said that, I want to prove my point right here. Danger, what's up? Thank you for being here. I want to prove my point, okay? So price to book of Bank of America, okay? The price to book of Bank of America is 1.02. All right, that's the price of book to Bank of America. Okay, now let's do JP Morgan. So we had 1.02 for Bank of America. JP Morgan, 1.7. Okay, let's do Wells Fargo. Price to book of Wells Fargo, 1.3. This is all as of last week, April. This is the generative part of Google right here. This is why Google's stock went up, dude. Look at how easy it is to get the answer. You know, this is very easy. I can search and I just immediately get the answer right there. Price to book of Citi. Okay, let's do Citibank. Not India, Citibank regular, 0.5794. Okay, let's do price to book of Truist Financial, 0.876, under 1. What's another big one? Let's do, we did Wells Fargo, we did Citibank, we did Bank of America. We could do Zion's Bank. That's another regional bank. I'll be making my point here in a second. 1.15. Okay, so as you can see, all of the banks we've done from a price to book basis are slightly higher than 1, or they're below 1. Most of them are 1. Rodney says Capital One. Yeah, that's a good one. Price to bank and of Capital One. Okay. 0.97, basically 1. And then we'll do Goldman Sachs. That's the last one. Goldman Sachs, which is not just a bank. It's a little bit more than that, but still 1.176. Okay, cool. Price to book of SoFi now after all those banks, 1.5. This was the point I was trying to make on Friday. SoFi is trading at a historical price to book, just like all these other banks. And all those other banks are way more profitable. They're not growing as fast, but they're way more profitable. And they have way more loans, right? They can just do more. They have way more deposits. SoFi maybe is going to get 3.1 billion in deposits, hopefully. You know, JP Morgan gets trillions, right, at the end of the day. So to me, what justifies, now let's do another example. Price to book of Palantir. What's the price to book of Palantir? 13. Price to book of Tesla, 8. And that's really because it fell recently. Price to book of NVIDIA, 51. Price to book of Google, 7. Bigger on average, 8 to 15 is what I've learned is kind of the average for a tech company. NVIDIA is, you know, a little bit up there, but the growth is justifying it. So 8 to 13 is what you give a tech company on a price to book basis. Banks stay within the range of like 0.5 if it's super undervalued to 1.9 at the high side. And that's assuming it's a little bit, you know, you're giving it a little bit more of a premium. The point that I'm trying to make here is that those that are arguing SoFi needs to have a massive premium on their valuation just as a bank, I think are wrong. No matter how fast it is growing, at the end of the day, the bank is valued on the value of their loans minus how much they are based on their loans and the percentage of return they can get on those loans. And there's not that much more to it. That's it. A tech company, you've got growth, you've got SaaS, you've got multiples, you've got gross margins that can exceed, you know, Palantir just has 84% gross margins. They went up 2% over the past quarter. Like, how do you do that? You do that when you have fixed costs, when you have a business that can actually scale at unprecedented rates. This is the whole nature of why NVIDIA, Tesla, Amazon have produced amazing returns for shareholders. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that unless SoFi introduces something substantial on the B2B tech side with Galileo and Technesis, hopefully on Monday, I don't know if we get a pump that is sustainable. We'll get a pump, right? We'll definitely get a pump if they beat on the lending side and on the member side, and maybe on deposits. But it's not going to be that substantial. Robinhood's price to book is 2.3. Right. And even Robinhood, right? Robinhood at the end of the day is a brokerage. It kind of pseudo functions as a bank. So you wouldn't expect Robinhood to get a massive brokerage. Let's check Schwab as a comparable. Price to book of Schwab. Price to book of Schwab is 3.25. Yep. And price to book of Fidelity. Is Fidelity even a public company? Yeah, it has to be, right? Yeah. FNF, 1.8. So, or sorry. Price to book for them is 2.2. So you could argue all these brokerages, they're not going to get insane multiple expansions, but this goes into the difference of Robinhood and SoFi. Why is Robinhood trading at a premium? Because there is a technology component associated with it, along with a crypto component associated with it. So there's differentiating variables. Whereas SoFi, at the end of the day, it's a bank. So I think you need Galileo and Technesis to step up on Monday. If they don't step up on Monday and Noto doesn't drop the hammer on those two pieces in particular, remember they've been around for about 4 years now in the company. I think we'll get a pump and the pump will be sold off. However, having said that, so the point I'm trying to make is SoFi is trading historically like other banks should be trading. It shouldn't be trading at a crazy multiple, right? If SoFi was 15, 16 bucks, which is what all the bulls want, it would be unjustified given all these other banks are, JP Morgan's not trading at $500. They're trading at 180 and their price to book is basically 1.7. SoFi price to book is 1.5, trading at around $8 now. The way that I think they get a higher price to book is if they introduce something on the B2B tech side, because then that gives the SaaS multiple to the street. On top of that, I do think SoFi has been sold off dramatically, right? And because of that, I think even if it's not justified for this thing to run as dramatically as we think it can run, because the B2B tech side doesn't have any major progress on it. So year to date down 18%. It did close 8:11 after hours on Friday. I think this thing can still pop just based off the very nature that it's been stuck in single digits. Look at this thing, dude. Single digits. Last time it was double digits, it wasn't even this year, dude. Wow. Last time we got double digits on SoFi was December 28th, 2023. I think Noto's getting ready to finally get us out of the single digit purgatory. I don't know how he's going to do it. I'm skeptical of doing it in any way outside of using the B2B tech platform. I really think he's got to show some type of progress there to make this make sense. But I think it's time for this to move on. And if it doesn't move on, then, people will be stuck holding bags, including myself. I have some options that expire in 2 years. I'll have to hold them. Then I'll have to hold them. But hopefully, there is some momentum that happens with SoFi. Or does the market not care about the bank collapse? I mean, Rodney says, so does the latest bank collapse crash the market or spike the market because rate cuts more likely? I hear people saying the former, but I think the latter. Latest bank cut collapsed the market or spiked the market? I hear saying the former, but I think it's the latter as well. I think it's so there. I think you're talking about the Bloomberg article, right? There was a Bloomberg article that came out a week ago that was saying there's going to be a bank collapsing pretty soon, and that it's like not really known yet. It came out like April 11th, 2024. Yeah, like 2 weeks ago. I think if there's a bank collapse, I think it's a question of how big of a bank collapse it is. Remember, we got rid of Silicon Valley, then Credit Suisse, then First Republic. All of those ended up collapsing, and we kind of were able to sustain it, not only because of the bank term funding program by the Fed, which now is stopped, but also because, to be honest, maybe some of those banks collapsing helped inflation come down. Just in the nature of there was more money spurring around. Those banks weren't giving as many loans, things things you got a little bit more froth out of the system. The one that was Silicon Valley Bank had a lot of froth in the system, right? And it wasn't really their fault because the Fed raised rates too quick and they were being risky, but they're supposed to be risky because they're in Silicon Valley. They're lending to startups, all that stuff. Nonetheless, it got froth out of the system. So I think if another bank was to collapse, it wouldn't trigger a massive scare in the broader equity markets. I think if it's like JP Morgan, then yeah, but it's not JP Morgan, right? And it's definitely not going to happen SoFi. It just happened today. What's the name of the bank, Rodney? What's the name of the bank? That bank was already collapsing. What was the name of the bank? Because I heard this thing on Twitter, but I didn't get a chance to really look at it. If you have the article, put it in the chat and we'll read it. But yeah, I don't think people remember what's his name? I was about to say Jamie Dimon. I was about to say JP Morgan. Jerome Powell. Same thing, right? Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan. He went on CBS on 60 Minutes 2 months ago, and he said, if banks collapse, that's a good thing. He basically said some of these guys are going to have to die, and He was specifically talking about the regionals. So if it's a regional that collapsed, then I don't think the Fed's going to have that much concern about it. Bank collapsed, no coverage in the media, like nothing happened. Yeah, pretty much, right? FRBK, this is the bank that collapsed. FRBK Bank. What is this bank? Republic First Bank Corp. They collapsed. Republic First Bank Corp collapse. Oh yeah, they collapsed. Is this a Philadelphia bank? Yeah, see, no one cares about this, dude. This is a Philadelphia bank. No one gives a shit. This is the thing. It's a local regional bank. No one gives a shit. I don't think anyone gives. I think the JPOW definitely doesn't give a shit.
Philadelphia Bank, Republic First Bank was collapsed.
Look at that guy's mustache, dude. That's nice.
And was seized by state regulators. Fulton Bank reached an agreement with regulators to take over Republic's first nearly 36 branches in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so no, this is not the same Republic that you're thinking about, Goldfish. This is that was the old one. This is one that was specifically in Philadelphia, apparently.
New Jersey and New York. They will reopen under the Fulton Bank name. This branch in media already has a temporary.
Yeah, no one cares about this, dude. This is not a big deal. At least it doesn't seem like it's a big deal. Is Republic First different from First Republic? I think so. But even if it's not, if it's the Philadelphia version of this, then no one's going to care. No one's going to care about this. Philadelphia isn't a big city. See, if New York Community Bank collapsed, I would say that's a big deal because that one in the tri-state area is a massive bank. But even that, like even New York Community Bank that was so close to collapsing, they got $1 billion worth of funding and they were able to keep things going, keep the party going. So I don't think the market, dude, I think 2024 is a bull run, which is why I think SoFi is going to run. Although I'm saying SoFi is valued the same as other banks are being valued and they need the B2B side to give them a SaaS multiple. Let's say the B2B side doesn't come in on Monday as like nice as we're expecting. I still think that sucker is going to run because I think it's been sold off too aggressively. I think people are looking for a reason to buy. I think the shorts are going to cover once they see the price action go the way it does. And I think we'll get a rally to $10. I think it'll happen. And if I'm wrong, then all right, then I'm wrong. But I think the sucker's been sold off way too much. And I think Friday after hours, that's why we saw people piling in because they also felt we were going to see some momentum come in. It's not a good sign, though. See, I would say the opposite. I think it is a good sign to see some banks collapsing. Some of the regional banks that have way too much froth, there's no need for them to like legitimately exist. And JPOW said the same thing. So I think it's actually good that we're getting rid of some of these banks. And this might be bullish for SoFi. I mean, it means more consolidation at the end of the day as well, right? So, yeah, I'm not too concerned about the banks collapsing. Now, if it's more broader banks, we'll look into that. But as of now, it's not that big of a deal. At least that's how I perceive it right now. You know, like Truist. If Truist collapsed, that's a whole different question. Truist is the biggest regional bank in the country, $500 billion in assets. That's not collapsing, right? And rates eventually are coming down. I don't think rates are getting high. If rates start getting higher, we're going to see more banks collapse because the losses on their loan portfolios are going to get tremendous. They're going to get too big for them to be able to withstand it. But I don't think that's happening soon unless we, raise rates, which better not happen because that would suck. Why are Hood insiders selling before earnings? Vlad and Beju, the two co-founders, they sell 250,000 shares, I think like every other month. That's on their scheduled plan. It's scheduled. I mean, every time you see it, it's like 250. So it's pretty much scheduled for them. Vlad owns 55 million shares of the company. So you're going to see like a bunch of scheduled sales when you have that many shares. But they're not direct sales outright. Now, Beju left the company. So if he's selling, then he's selling. But ultimately, he left. SoFi pumped 9% to give it all back on Monday. Dude, I hope not. If SoFi collapses back to $7 on Monday, that's going to be annoying, dude. That's going to be so fucking annoying. All right, what else can we talk about? What else do we have to talk about? So we talked about SoFi. Earnings better crush. I'll be here on Monday, and we'll see kind of where it plays out. But as of now, that's what we got on SoFi. You got to interview the Robinhood CEO. How about SoFi CEO? I don't know if Anthony Noto is willing to do an interview with a retail investor. I mean, if he was, he should do it with Tanner because Tanner covers him, very nicely, and he's like the best SoFi YouTuber there. But I don't know if Noto's willing to talk to retail, which I don't blame him because the stock's been in the gutter. You probably don't want to talk to retail. Like you guys remember, Vlad did the interview because the stock, in my opinion, it went higher. So he had the freedom to like not be grilled by all his institutional investors or whatever for talking to me. I think if the stock was $6, he wouldn't have talked to me, right? Like things have to change fundamentally for the company for things to move forward. So I think if this thing pumps to 12 and it sustains the pump, I think Noda will be more interested in doing retail. But as of now, he's not doing it. Rango says vertically integrated online bank has huge margin advantages over traditional banks. I'm bullish SoFi. You know, I've been thinking about this a lot, dude. I agree. Like, yes, you're right about this, Rango, but the broader vision of SoFi being the bank that takes over the world, I'm not seeing it as deeply. And I was talking to Steve about this as well on Friday on the market close. I literally asked, hey, Steve, if SoFi didn't have the fintech portion to it, would you be as bullish as you are on SoFi? And now, Steve, remember, he's written, like, at this point, 50 articles about SoFi on Seeking Alpha. So this guy understands SoFi. Like, he's not a joke when it comes to understanding SoFi. And he said no. He said there would be no difference between a company like SoFi and Ally Bank if they did not have the B2B side and the fintech side of it. So as much vertical integration they have, as much like, you know, better margins they have, like, it's just not as exciting compared to like the biggest banks in the world, JP Morgan, Bank of America. They're not taking their lunch, right? That's just not happening. And so if that's the case, then like what makes it exciting? And what makes it exciting to me is the tech side of the business, which makes it very exciting. And that's what gets Steve excited about it well, but we got to see if that, you know, plays out. Okay, cool. So that was SoFi. That was SoFi. Who is considering a pound to earnings play? Okay, so I'm actually considering a pound to earnings play. Let me, I mean, look, I'll talk more about it like on Monday, but I'm thinking if SoFi earnings goes well, I would take that money and I would probably dump it into spreads for 2026 for Palantir. And I've been thinking of the 30-35 spread. So buy the 30 call, sell the 35 call on top of it. I think it's trading at, or sorry, no, $32 spread. So there's a $2 width between the buy side and the sell side. And it's trading at like 45 cents. So you could probably get it. I mean, it could, if it pumps all the way to that level, which is not going to happen anytime soon, but it could get like a 6x from there, right? If we could sell for even like 80% after earnings, that would be awesome. If Palantir gets like 27, 28, which I don't know if that would happen, but if it does, that would be excited. So, yeah, that's one of the ones I'm thinking at. We got to see if SoFi goes well, because that's where I would get the money to do that one for. But we'll see. If SoFi goes well, then I think there's an easy spread on Palantir for 2026. I wouldn't do 2025 on the spreads because I think the rest of the year we just don't know if Palantir is going to pump as much as we think. But if we have that extra year, even if we have to pay a little bit more for the spread, it would be good. I'm not doing any May 10th calls on Palantir because earnings is on May 8th. Like, I don't want to do the monthly on that one. That one might just not work out. I have 8,000 shares of SoFi, planning to build it out to 15K this year if there's a credit crisis under 10. Yeah, look, I think long-term SoFi is going to do well. But we're all looking for a pump out of the single digits. Long-term, SoFi will grow as a profitable bank. They will grow as a B2B tech company over the next 5-6 years. Probably 10 years. I don't want to hold SoFi for 10 years. That's the difference. And because I don't want to hold it for 10 years, that's why I'm looking for what is the options play here. Why did Beju leave Hood? To be honest, I think he's been there for so long. He was one of the original co-founders, and I think he just got bored at the end of the day. This ultimately, he's not the CEO of this thing. He's also a really creative guy. Like, let me show you who this guy is. Beju Bot. He looks like a typical like California hippie. Like, look at this guy. I don't know if hippie is the right word, but like just tech dude, right? Like, look at this dude. Look at him and Vlad years ago. It's like, so I think he wanted to move on to do different stuff. He's been there for so long. And so you can't blame him ultimately deciding to leave. But like, these are traditional tech dudes, dude. These guys are like, oh, Vlad had a mustache once. Wow, look at that. These guys, it's cool. They've been around. They've done this for a long time. So I think he's done this since 2013. I think he's still on the board, but yeah, he's not involved in day-to-day anymore. So, Mateo says, hey, bro, pull up post stream. No, bro, I can't. Mateo, that's my guy in New York. Dude, we got to fucking plan this date, dude. We got to I can't come to New York today. It's 9:30, dude. It'll be so late. We got to fucking plan this day. Mateo is an awesome, awesome guy. One day he's got to get on stream, dude. We just got to talk, Mateo. You just got to be on stream. But I think next Saturday, dude, we should do it. Because next Sunday, I'm flying to DC. Not flying, I'm driving to DC. I think you guys know there's this Palantir event on Tuesday next week. It's this thing they tweeted about today. I'm going to this thing with Arnie. Arnie's coming from Italy, which is going to be super fun. And he's going to actually stay at my house for a little bit. It's this this conference thing that Karp's going to be speaking at. I don't know if I'll get to meet Karp. If I do, that'd be awesome, but I don't know if that's the case. I will be at his talks. There's like thousands of people there, dude. So this is the expo, the Special Competitive Studies Project. So me and Arnie are going to be there. We're going to get to see Karp speak. I don't know if we'll get to meet him, but we'll get to see him speak. And so I'm going to be driving on Sunday down to DC, and I'll be there for the week. So Saturday, Mateo, we should chill before. That would be fun. Okay, cool. So we talked about SoFi. What do we talk about next? Matt Money. Shout out to Matt Money in the chat. Rocket Lab's going to retire this guy. Kathy Wood's buying so much of this Rocket Lab that he's going to get filthy rich. What other questions do we have here? Let's do a view. Dude, okay, June wants to, do you guys really want to do this? June wants to watch my first YouTube video ever. I think it's going to be so cringe, dude. I think it's going to be so freaking cringe that it wouldn't be. Dude, I'm looking at the video right now. The video is called Instagram is not tolerating the nonsense anymore from TikTok. I was like talking about Instagram and TikTok. It's going to be so awkward watching this shit, dude. It's from 3 years ago. This is crazy, dude. This is too much. This is too much. What is your ultimate long position which you want to hold for more than 10 years other than Palantir? Honestly, I don't have the position built out, but it would be Tesla. But I don't have the position built out, so like if I had a substantial Tesla position, which I don't, yeah, it would be Tesla and Palantir. But there is no other company I want to hold for the long term other than Palantir. There just isn't. There really isn't. It's Palantir. It's not Robinhood. I love Robinhood. I don't know if I would hold it for the long term. You know, I have to make that decision, but Palantir, I would just want to build a Palantir. Now, I think Google and NVIDIA would be awesome ones as well. Maybe more NVIDIA than Google. But then again, NVIDIA, the question is the demand actually going to keep up? And I think it will, to the point where they become a $10 trillion company if AI becomes that crazy. But we will have to see. Yeah, Palantir is the main one. Palantir is the main company. Why Palantir? Well, there's a whole YouTube channel for why Palantir. Okay, do we want to watch this thing? Oh my god, this is gonna be so awkward. This is gonna be so fucking awkward, dude. It's gonna be so awkward. All right, fuck it. We're gonna watch it. Dude, this is gonna be so awkward. This is gonna be so awkward. Hold on. When does it even? Oh, give me a second. Let me pull it up. Hold on. Okay, so this is oldest videos. Okay. Dude, this is so weird. This is so weird watching this shit. I don't even know what I'm looking at. I think I'm okay. Fuck it. This is Amit. Are you gonna start doing this every Saturday? Yeah, pretty much every Saturday. Oh, this is gonna be awkward. This is gonna be awkward. Okay, fuck it. All right, here we go. I think this is starting from I'm trying to skip the intro so we just get to the main one. Okay, so the title is... Wait, no, let me do the clip because the whole show makes no sense. Let's do the clip. Okay, yeah. Here's the... Okay, so we're going to do... Okay, let's do the Wall Street Bets one, dude. This is going to be so cringe. Oh, my God. All right, Wall Street Bets will democratize stock information for everybody. I don't even think I understood what Wall Street Bets was. All right, here we go. Dude, I'm gonna stop it after like 3 minutes if it's too cringe. I can't do this. I can't do this shit. All right, here we go. Okay. Hey, moving on to our next story. The next story, we are going to break down, hopefully in like 10 or 15 minutes, the Wall Street Bets situation. If you clicked on this video, you should watch this till the end. If you don't know what happened, if you clicked on this video, you should watch this till the end, dude. What the fuck? Oh my God. And you may know some headlines and stuff of what happened, but we are actually going to break down what happened. Like what the hell happened in this scenario? And then I'm going to give my perspective and sort of my take on how I think this is ultimately going to democratize the stock market, which is like the best thing in my opinion for what is going on. So let's talk about it. Wall Street Bets. Basically, it's this forum on Reddit, right? And if you guys don't know what Reddit is, it's this online community. It was started like 10, 15 years ago that has little mini niche sub communities on it. Think of like going to like the mall and you see all these different stores selling all this different stuff. Reddit to me is just like a mall, like a huge mall in your local community, but it has a ton.
Dude, look at the rings I'm fucking wearing here. I'm wearing like these double rings. This is just disgusting, dude. This is weird. This is kind of boring, dude. This is not that interesting. Let me just move on here.
And this is a term you guys have been seeing over social media. It's called hodl, or hold the line, right? Do not sell.
What? Oh my god. I forgot this was during the GameStop crisis thing.
What happened is people came together. They tried to stick it to the hedge funds. They ultimately got away with it because a couple of hedge
Oh, this was me explaining that shit. Okay.
funds closed out their position and took $1 billion loss. But a lot of hedge funds just continued to do what they were doing, and they ended up making money regardless. Why? Because the stock price ultimately came back down. When a stock price goes up and it's at that rate, unless everyone holds the line, and this is a term you guys have been seeing over social media, it's called hodl, or hold the line, right? Do not sell. Then the price is going to go down. If you start selling a share of your stock, or selling shares of your stock, the price goes down because the value of the stock is something not that valuable anymore, because you have been selling shares of the stock. So
I need this lesson today because I don't even know how a stock goes down. So this is good info for today.
So at that point, it's really important to recognize that so many people at a $400 price were selling because, like, why not? It's $400. It was $20. They were taking their profits, which kind of ruined the entire movement in and of itself. And that's what led the stock price to come down. Today, I think it's like $60 or something like that. Let's actually see what GameStop.
Dude, I should have been buying stock right there. Okay, so that was me in the past, dude. Those are my old videos. That's it. It's nothing that crazy. I mean, I was talking really slow. I don't think there was any energy, and it was just kind of boring. That's all it was, right? I've learned a lot about social media since then, dude. I've learned a lot about social media. I've learned so much about social media and algorithms and content to the point where I've come to the conclusion there's no one that can coach anyone on how to build a brand on social media. Like it is one of those things you're kind of thrown into a tornado and you have to kind of figure it out. And you know, like even if someone said, "Hey, Amit, I'll pay you money to help me," I wouldn't take the money because I'm just like, it is literally something you have to figure it out on your own. I don't think anyone can coach you. Like it is becoming so hyper competitive. Like think about that at that time, right? Everyone was talking about Wall Street bets, and then I put out that video. I think that video was like 30 views. And it doesn't have 30 views just because like thumbnail and title is not the best. It has 30 views because like you're competing with millions of people that are talking about the same topic on this one platform. So how do you carve out a niche for yourself on that platform and allow yourself to penetrate the different variations of that niche and then actually build a community and consistency? Like there's just so much to it. I think social media is one of the hardest jobs on the planet, dude. And it doesn't pay that much either, like unless you get a really, really big following. So you really have to do it because you love it. And I fucking love it. I mean, you guys can tell I fucking love this shit. But it's hard. It's really, really hard. So back then, the cool thing about watching this progression is just that back then I had no idea what I was doing, and you just throw up a video and you see what happens. And then once you like actually get punched in the face so many times and you learn how like difficult it is to like make content consistency, you start to realize, oh, like you have to go all in on this if you want this to be a thing. And then ironically, if you go all in on this, you actually have a little bit of a differentiating variable than everyone else who's just doing it for fun, right? And that was the goal in the beginning of this year, to just try to go all in on this. How much of a following do you need to make money? You could have 1,000 followers and make money. You could have 100,000 and make no money. It's really a question of what is the type of followers, the engagement of followers, what are you selling, all that stuff, right? Money is like you can make money off social media. The question is like, can you build a brand that actually is valuable? Like a brand is what matters, not the money. The money is and that's the other reason why people lose. They're so short-term minded in terms of how can I monetize followers very quickly. It's like, that's not the goal here. The goal is to build a brand, and to build a brand, you've got to post consistently. And not only do you have to post consistently, you have to actually build a community, which is what I think we've done on this channel, you know, in a semi-successful way. And I think we'll keep doing it. But that's the hard part of this whole social media thing. But it's fun. It's fun as we keep doing it. Everyone says I look younger. The reason I look younger is because I don't have the beard. I got rid of the beard, and that was the best decision. Oh, that's what we should watch, dude. We should be watching the beard shaving. That's more fun to watch. That one was super fun to do. That was January 2023. That was a year and a half ago. January 2023, where I shaved the beard live. That was a good one. That was a really, really good one. Amit shaving beard live New Year's. Let's see if it pops up. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I got it. This one was epic, dude. Some of you guys probably weren't part of the channel back then. Some of you guys probably don't remember this stuff. You guys remember this? TJ, what's up? What's up? What's up? TJ coming back from a little vacation with his wife. We're going to do our podcast soon, and that's going to be super fun. Next week, we got a lot to talk about. Okay, so this thing was crazy, dude. I couldn't figure out how to use this thingy. A blade, you know? I was doing it wrong, dude. Look at it. You see how I'm not
still coming off.
I didn't know you had to like push the thing up, and that would look at this. Look at the way I'm doing it. I'm doing it wrong because I never did this before. And then Kris was in the chat like, "You dumbass, you have to fucking put."
Okay, someone said use the trimmer on the back of the clipper. So when I researched this one was for your like mustache or something.
Dude, I did not get it. It was so bad. It was so bad.
I'm just gonna keep doing it the way I'm doing it right here, and then we'll see what happens.
I was like, yeah, I'll just keep.
Amit is teasing us at this point.
Here are the comments. Are the comments there? No, the comments aren't showing up.
And razor it off. I might have to do that. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of this side now. We're gonna just see how much it goes.
And I figured it out.
It's literally like taking scissors to try to mow a lawn. That is correct.
No, I still didn't figure it out yet. When did I figure it out?
But oh, I'm starting to see some skin.
Dude, everyone must have been so frustrated. I didn't figure it out for so long that I had to do the other side. This is when I figured it out. Here we go. Yeah, right around here.
For 10 years. So does that mean I haven't washed it for 10 years? Is that how this works? Oh, crap. Fuck me. What is this? What is that? I just found a burger from 2 years ago stuck in there. Oh my goodness.
Dude, this is like I have not seen my skin in so long.
Wow, that's quick.
It's 20 minutes into the video, yeah.
Oh. It meant the world to me because he supported my dream, saw my vision, and
look at this shit.
It's kind of ASMR to do it. I used to watch this guy eat food on YouTube. I still do sometimes. Very ASMR.
Dude, this mustache with this right here looks like so not cool. See, this is why I don't have a mustache and just a beard. This is what I look like. Yeah, exactly. Tom says, right, you look like a 1977 adult film producer. That's literally what I look like. See, I can't look at this. Look at this without the mustache, without the beard and just the mustache. Tell me that's not an adult film producer, dude. Exactly what it looks like. And then without any beard, it just looks dumb. Look at this shit. You need to have some beard. Oh, wow. We were using ChatGPT. That's when it just came out. We were using ChatGPT. I didn't even know ChatGPT looked like that. Look at this. We were using ChatGPT. That was back in 2022 when it just came out. Damn, ChatGPT looked ugly back then. Wow. Yeah, see, this is what I look like. Now, granted, I weigh like an extra 20 pounds here. So that's why you see all this skin. I lost a good 20 pounds from this photo. That's why there's so much like extra skin right there. But I don't have that weight anymore. So it doesn't look that bad. I think no beard is definitely the way to go. A chubby baby, exactly. A chubby baby. Whose uncle is this? Oh man, dude, it was bad. A porn stash. That's basically what it was. That was the Rutgers education. Yeah, that was the Rutgers education. It is what it is. We can talk about Rutgers. I can talk about my journey in Rutgers in a second. I'll talk about that. That could be a good topic. Jet says, when did you figure this shit out and what was the turning point? To be honest, I think the turning point was September 2023. And the reason I understand that is because that's when I extended the market open. So remember, for those that are OGs of the channel, we used to do the market open at 9:20 every day. I think one day I CPI was early. So I was like, oh, let me do the market open early. And I started at like 8:20. And I just realized, oh, I have so much more time to like develop the show and talk. And ever since that day, this is like early September 2023. So not that far. It was like 8 months ago, right? That's when I realized, oh, like this is how you start the morning. You actually give yourself time, which means you have to wake up early, get all the topics ready, all that stuff, right? But it gives you time to like do the show. And then you can do the close as well, right? Which means you have time. And then I was just like, oh, so this can be like a repeatable format. I think with content, it has to be consistent routine that people can enter into every single day, right? And I think the Market Open show is just that easy. And then the Palantir videos, they're also Palantir Daily. That like I also figured like, why am I talking about like a trillion things? Let me just do one thing, right? And that one thing every single day, people know what they're tuning into. I think the biggest mistake people make when it comes to content is that they're putting so much out and they're not putting stuff out that people want to tune into. And I made that mistake. Like it's just so hard to niche yourself down, and eventually you can expand out that niche. But in the beginning, you have to stay in a niche, because why would people give you a shot if they don't know why they're clicking on your videos, right? There has to be a reason. And I think that reason is primarily due to a niche. Are you in the same room? Yes, I'm in the same room. I did, I had these bricks updated and installed, so those bricks are a little different, but I'm in the same room. What's the Lakers score right now? What's the Lakers score? Broccoli Bob, you got to leave. Thanks for being here. Wow, Lakers are up by 13 at halftime. Wow. All right, LA. Let's see if they can pull it off. 61-48. 61-48 for the Lakers. Let's see. Let's see if they can do it. Let's see if they can do it. All right, what else do we want to talk about, guys? Not stock related. I mean, we could do stock stuff, but also like just life stuff, because this is the point of a Saturday stream, is to just talk about life or anything else. What other topics are interesting to talk about around life? I'm in contract on my house sale limit. Okay, that's awesome. Shout out to Rango, potentially selling off that house in the beautiful state of California. So shout out to Rango. That'd be awesome. Word of the day. Oh, what's the word of the day today? Do they have a word of the day on? Yeah, they do. This is boring word of the day. This is kind of nebulous.
Nebulous.
Hazy, vague, indistinct, or confused. Let's just say when I was trying to shave my beard, I was a little bit nebulous. I was like, dude, I literally did not know how to. I've never used a shaver in my life. Is that what it's called? A shaver? What is it called? What is that? It's a shaver, right? Like a shaving tool? What is an electric beard scraper called? What is that called, dude? Is it McKay? What's up, dude? What's up? Shout out to McKay, dude. McKay is awesome. A clipper. Oh, razor. Yeah, electric razor. That's the this is the thing, dude. I can talk for 2 hours, but when it comes to like finding these words that are obscure in the universe, I can't fucking find them. A trimmer. See, I could have said a trimmer. I didn't even say a trimmer. Meda says a trimmer. Okay, thank you, Meda. I appreciate that. See, Meda gets she keeps her husband in check when he struggles the same way I struggle. She's like, honey, it's a trimmer. It's a trimmer, dude. A trimmer, clipper, easiest way to say. Okay, so McKay, what I was gonna say about McKay. McKay's an awesome dude. McKay, I met this guy on Twitter. I haven't met him in person yet, but McKay is married to this girl who's just hilarious on Twitter, dude. Like, she's absolutely hilarious. And her name is her brand, I guess. I don't know if this is her name, but and I see the questions in the chat. I'll answer the questions in a second. Her name is the Tesla Ho. This is who she is. And she's just the most hilarious person on Twitter in the context of Tesla. Like, it's just hilarious. And McKay and her are like married. So like, look at this. Oh my God, no, new music. She's gonna fucking get the stream. Fucking YouTube is gonna be crazy with music. So McKay is awesome, and he's a dope guy, and they just go back and forth on Twitter, and it's like hilarious. And she loves Taylor Swift, and I think we all know this Taylor Swift album is objectively disgusting. Like, it is just so bad. This new Taylor Swift, this new Taylor Swift album. Look at me, dude. I'm so into stocks. I'm like, oh, the article. No, it's this fucking album. And she's not admitting it. And I keep trying to tell her on Twitter, I'm like, come on. Like, this is a bad album. We know it's a bad. I don't care how many streams she's getting. It's a bad album. But still, let me take this hat off, dude. This hat is driving me crazy right now. But yeah, shout out to McKay. He has to put up with her all the time. But it's not a good album for Taylor Swift. It's not a good album. Jet says the Market Open is the real deal. I have to tune in every morning. Doesn't matter where I'm at. Truly changing how media is consumed. See, that's awesome, Jet. I really appreciate that. I think we can grow the Market Open substantially. Let me actually show you guys these fucking stats, dude. I was updating it today, so let me show you legit stats. But you guys get to see these stats because you're here in the stream. So here's the actual stats right here. Let me zoom in because I'm very data driven. I calculate all this shit. So this is the average number of people who join every morning since January 2024. Okay, so January. So it's basically how many episodes? 79 episodes today. 1,240 every morning, about 6,200 views total, and about $58 each market open video mix. That's like YouTube ad revenue, right? And then market close, same thing. It's about 849 people every day, 5,500 views, and about $55 every single day. So these are the metrics I'm religious about. These are the only numbers I really care about. These are the only number, like every single day, this is the only thing I care about. And as you can see in the morning, so January 2nd, we had 816 people every single day, right? And then we struggled to like break out of that. And then we had 1,000 and we got to 1,000. Okay. But we still kept dipping below. And then right here, February 6th, everything changed. Does anyone know what happened February 6th? Anyone know what happened February 6th? February 6th, everything changed. I wonder if anyone can guess it in the chat. Let's see if anyone can guess. It's pretty obvious what happened, but let's see if anyone can guess it. There we go. Garcia got it. Pound earnings. So this is the thing about YouTube and social media, right? Exactly. Pound earnings. No, not me, Kevin. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, Kevin. It was pound earnings. What's so important about social media is that there are these moments where people's attention is ready to be captured. And if you show up and you've been showing up for years or months, right? However long you've been doing it, and you pop up, there's a chance they discover you. So that day we went from 800 to 1,600. So we doubled in a matter of 5 days. And then we never went below 1,200, right? We never went below 1,200. We just kept going. Then we had more earnings. Then we got 1,800, 1,700. And then it just kept piling on. We've not gone below 1,000. And then over the past like 2 weeks, we basically haven't gone below 1,400. I mean, a couple 1,200s here and there, but basically not below 1,400. So this past week, we had 1,460, 1,440, 1,542, 1,497, 1,448. Now, you guys know I'm not a numbers guy. I don't bring up numbers at all. I hate talking numbers. I don't celebrate Twitter followers, numbers like that. But internally, this is what I have to look at as a content creator, because at the end of the day, this is a job, right? It's a super fun job, but job not in the context of monetization, job in the context of building the brand. And so when you think of it as a like when you're trying to think of growth trajectory, whether it's this or any creative thing you're doing. Here's another thing why most people fail at creativity and like building something out, like meaningful out of their creative desires. And I was in this rut for a good 10 years, dude, when I was trying to do social media back when I was like in high school and just like trying and failing. Most people don't understand business. They can't do business, right? They don't understand business. They're just stuck in the art. So for me, those early videos you guys saw on YouTube, I was like, oh, people care about people care about Wall Street bets. So I'll just talk about it, right? No understanding of like the algorithm, no understanding of who would click, how they would click, how you would build that. Like no understanding of the actual science behind your creativity. It's just your creativity. So like people post like vlogs on YouTube and like, oh, people care about them because they think Casey Neistat, who's one of the biggest YouTube vloggers, gets all these millions of views. So people just watch vlogs. It's like, yeah, people watch vlogs, but how are you penetrating their attention? So I think when the business side of me, I did go to business school, even though you guys, put shame on my Rutgers education. When the business side of me started to look at social media, like, oh, you have to track metrics. You have to look at the growth rate. You have to look at how much it compounds. You have to look at what happens at what time during what day. You have to actually look at your analytics and then make a cohesive understanding of what's going on. Once that happened, which was early January when I decided to kind of go all in, it was a lot easier to then be like, oh, this is how you can grow this thing. And then you have some spontaneous moments like Pound Earnings. Like we went live for 9 hours that day, right? And that is one of the days where the creativity has to come out because the analytical side of you would be like, okay, this was a great day. 2 hours in, we got 2,000 people. Boom, good to go. This will be good growth. The creative side at that moment is like, fuck, this is a big day. Pound is going up like 5% every minute. Like we should just stay live forever. And then we stayed live until PayPal earnings later that day. So the creative aspect of like, this is a moment to capitalize on when it comes to attention, mixed with the analytical side of this is going to compound the growth and we can actually track the metrics. I think that's what creates a somewhat successful career when it comes to social media. But it's very different. It's very difficult to do that. How did you find your niche? This was also really simple. I posted a video about Palantir. This was the only stock I owned back in 2021. And I saw, honestly, the way this whole YouTube thing started was I saw there was way more demand than there was supply for Palantir content. And at that moment, it became very evident to me that I was like, okay, this is the only stock I own. I am trying to learn more about it. I can be public with what I'm trying to learn. There's a community of people that care about content around the stock, but they don't have anyone really creating content for them. So let's talk about this, right? Let's actually double down on this thing. And then we can worry about talking about other things, but let's focus on this. Let's give people a reason to follow you. I think that's the biggest thing with social media. Do people have a reason to follow you? So now when people find the market open, it's more a question of, Do I like how this guy talks? Do I enjoy the content? Is there some humor in the morning, something that wakes me up with my coffee, something that kicks me in the ass? I'll follow. In the beginning, when no one knew who I was, it was, who's this random Indian kid that's just popping on my feed talking about Palantir? Okay, do I care about Palantir? Yes. Do I care about how he talks about Palantir? Kind of. Boom, subscribe, there you go. And like that thing had to be matured over 3 years before I think the market open could even have a chance to be successful. By the way, Meet Kevin did the same thing. Meet Kevin had to do so much damn Tesla and COVID content in terms of the stimulus packages just for him to be able to develop the base to now do what he's doing today, which is basically talking about anything and everything, including becoming super bearish on Tesla, then becoming bullish on Tesla, right? So I think that's how ultimately it plays out. Nate, throw back to the nightly streams with 100 people. Yup, that was fun. And it was fun during that time, just talking about anything, right? During that time. And the thing is that, you know, when there was 100 people versus there were 1,500 people, it was still the same fun energy, which is what I think. That was the other thing. Krishna and Mehdi, if you're still in the chat, when I was talking to Krishna, who reached out over the weekend, the reason he said him and his wife enjoy watching the streams is because of the energy. And I think that's a big thing, dude. There are some days where I wake up and I'm like, dude, I just don't like, not that I don't feel like doing it, but I'm tired, right? Like that, just maybe I didn't get to sleep that much last night, whatever. But as soon as the camera turns on, it's like you're here, you're in this fucking moment, and you just be present. And then for me, if I'm going to be in the moment, I'm going to try to do it right. And so if I'm going to do it right, there's going to be energy. And if that energy can happen every single day at the same time consistently, then it gets pretty exciting. So yeah, that's how this all played out. The daily streams make it a habit, which is a key, I think. Yeah, I think so as well. The daily streams make it a habit. And that's the other thing, people, when it comes to social media, people are like, oh, why am I not growing? It's like, are you posting, dude? Like, are you actually posting? Like, are you putting out content every day to the point where people look forward to it? If that's not happening, then it's very hard to grow. It's basically impossible to grow, in my opinion. It's basically impossible. Unless you're like a 5-star movie director that puts out one video a year on YouTube and everyone knows who you are, which there are some of those people, but it's not easy to do that. Hopefully he won't oversleep for SoFi, dude. That was I want to pull that up again. Let's watch that again, dude. That was so annoying that I slept through that, especially because of how I obnoxiously titled that video. Honestly, though, remember, I had that dream that day, and I got that voice memo from that girl who was like, oh, I miss you. You chase your dreams. I chased mine. And that just fucked me up the whole night. And then, like, I couldn't fucking wake up on time. That's a bullshit reason, but still, that is a reason. That is like that made it hard. Okay, so what was, look at this, the most important day on the history of planet Earth.
Market. That's
okay. So this is how that happened. This was so bad, dude. It was so bad. You know, sometimes you got to do a walk of shame. It's ironic too, because I don't drink, so I don't have to ever experience the walk of shame, but I fucking sleep. That's the problem. Sometimes you gotta do a walk of shame. What was the fucking CPI, dude? Was it good? Was it bad? It was so bad. Was it good? Was it bad? How bad is it? Was it okay that I slept through it? Yes, I slept through it, dude. I slept through it. I'll talk about why I slept through it. I fucking slept through it, dude. I was so tired. You know, it's funny. I woke up at like 7:30 and I was ready to go. Let's shut my eyes for like one more second. And yeah, this thing. I wasn't high. I promise, dude. It wasn't high. I wasn't drunk. I was up late, like just thinking, and that's the problem. How bad is it? I have not even looked at the market, dude. I have literally not even looked at the market. Like, watch when I react. Watch when I. Is it that bad, dude? I don't even want to check Twitter. The messages must be crazy. This must be. Yep, there you go. There's so many messages, dude. So many messages. Oh man. So what happened last night? Dude. Oh yeah. So basically, then we saw the market tank. And we saw. Look at that. Robinhood was only 1830. Still, Robinhood was better than it was right now, even when the market tanked. That's how much the market's been hit. But yeah. So I guess that's on that topic in the context of like social media and stuff. I remember that day you were gonna stay up all night. Yep, that was the day I was gonna stay up all night. What else do we got? What did Jet say? I think I saw Jet's coming right. It's easy to understand that folks no longer trust mainstream media, but seek live and updated news and want it quick. Even with Facebook X, it takes watch time, but it's easy to listen while preparing or driving to work. Yeah, I agree. it is very hyper competitive, dude, in today's economy to get attention, and it's going to get even worse with AI, and it's just really tough. So if you can somewhat stand out and build a brand, this is why whenever anyone asks me like, hey, should I start social media, my advice is like, dude, like you have to be so obsessed with this thing, and like literally this is like all in for me, right? Like you got to really be obsessed to even have a chance. It's just not easy. It's just not easy. And the sad reality is if you take too many days off, you're done. So it's like you can't quit, really. You can't. And that's why I think Meet Kevin's been struggling so much, because he just went so big so fast that like I think it hit him all at once, and then he had to try to find his identity over the past couple of years, because first he was the COVID stimulus guy, then he was the Tesla guy, then he was, you know, the Wall Street guy, like Wall Street bets guy. It's like because he was aping into AMC. Remember when he was running for president and he was like buying a share of AMC every time someone donated? Like he was in all these different communities, and I think he kind of spread himself really thin. Whereas my community has primarily been Palantir and then just been developing this market open, market close. So you can lose yourself in this thing as well, right? Like you can lose yourself. Meta says, are you afraid of burning out? I am not afraid of burning out. And the primary reason for that is because I think I've kind of doubled down on what I think works, which is, you know, the market open, market close, and then daily Palantir every single day, and then managing the Twitter account. One thing I did decide, oh, wow, look, we got Steve calling me. All right, I'm going to talk for a little bit, then I wonder if Steve knows if I'm live or not. Let me text him. Does he know if I'm live or not? We'll get Steve on here. Maybe he can hop on the show. One thing I did notice about myself, is that I think I was trying to start way too many things at the beginning of the year, because my idea was like, okay, if I'm going all in on social media, I should like be starting a ton of different things, a ton of different Twitter accounts, a ton of different YouTube channels, blah, 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 blah. And like a month ago, I realized, dude, the easiest way to lose is by spreading yourself out so thin and trying so many different things that you don't double down and focus on one. And so I realized, let me just double down and focus on Twitter and YouTube, building the brand, and like trying to keep residual things on the side and not them be that crazy. And not them take up too much of my attention and too much of my time. And so that's what I'm doing. So I'm not afraid of burnout, because at the end of the day, I know if I double down on what's working, it can hopefully keep growing, right? And that's just like, you just have to keep going. But if you try to do so many things, it's not a burnt out thing. It's like you just fail because you can't keep up with that many things, right? And then nothing ends up working. So now that I've kind of like tripled down on like the things that are working, and you just keep doing that every single day, which already takes up enough of my time. That's why I'm not too afraid of burnout. In terms of actually like being obsessed with the markets, that also doesn't burn me out, because like throughout the entire day, I'm so obsessed with what's going on in the news and in the markets that allows me to. What I think is valuable about the market open and the market close is my ability to communicate what's happening in the world to a general audience while staying objective. Are there moments where I get a little biased? Yes. And I add my own little opinion and flair. Like, do I think the wealth tax with 25% is stupid? Yes. Like I do. But like at the end of the day, that's the value proposition. If I had to break down why people watch, obviously the humor is there. Like I'm not going to, reiterate the points about the humor. You guys know that. But like besides that, which is 99% of it, the 1% is just the communication of the market. But that's why people come. So if I could just keep doing that, and I love doing that, and I care about doing that, and I enjoy doing that so deeply, cowbell's also a big reason of that, as Herbert says, then I think it should work. I think it should keep going, right? And again, here's the last thing I'll say on this. And then Krishna, I just saw your super chat as well. I missed this. Thank you for the super chat, 999. As a kid, I couldn't stand watching the news, but now I can't get enough of your videos. You managed to make it both fun and informative, and I'm hooked. See, that's the other thing, dude. There's this. I've always, ever since I've been little, I've had this knack to be the center of attention. And I've done this not as a class clown, right? The guy that tries to be funny because he's like depressed inside, not really like that, but more so if I have the spotlight on me, I want to take advantage of the spotlight. And I think so desperately, you guys know, like the OGs of the channel know that I wanted to be the next Michael Jackson. Yes, you can laugh. I know it's stupid, but I wanted to be the next Michael Jackson because I was obsessed with Michael Jackson when he died. Like his whole life became so much to me. We should talk about Michael Jackson versus Prince, by the way. Anyone who thinks Prince is bigger than Michael Jackson, I think you are high on crack. I can't believe there's a segment of the population on planet Earth that legitimately believes Prince was a bigger artist than Michael freaking Jackson. Like I was going through some blogs the other day of people actually like making the argument. I was like, are these people insane? Are you insane? Prince versus but the point is, when I realized I couldn't become the next Michael Jackson back when I was in high school, the urge and the desire to still perform, which I think Michael Jackson had kind of influenced in me when I saw him die, and I just saw the stage presence he has. Like I really wanted that desperately. But if you can't sing and you can't dance, which I'm really not that good at both, then you can't get that stage performance, right? And so what the market open is essentially the stage where I can get up and perform, in this case, performing in the context of the stock market and news and things of that nature. It's more news oriented versus like creative oriented, but there's still an element of performance there. And that's what gives me the energy, which I think transcends through the screen, which gets people to enjoy the show. And I think that's the idea of, why the market open and market closes is hopefully successful. Do a moonwalk, dude. Do I have the video? You guys don't understand how obsessed I was with Michael Jackson. I performed Billie Jean. I lip synced it at a talent show in 7th grade and in 8th grade, 2 times in a row. Oh, by the way, I have something to show you guys. But so I got it. Where's the video, dude? I think it's on Facebook. This is gonna be cringe as well. Is it on Facebook? Could I find it on Facebook? You guys are not gonna believe I did this shit, dude. I did this shit. Fuck, is it? Where is it on Facebook? I performed Billie Jean. I won first place at the talent show, by the way. And I got $100, and then I donated the $100 to the earthquake that happened, or not the earthquake, the tsunami that happened in Japan in 2012. And so I specifically remember I took the money and I donated. I gave it to one of the teachers who was collecting funds. But I won first place, which is how I got the $100 back in 2012. All right, do I have this video? Dude, I performed Billie Jean at the talent show. Is this the video? No, this is not the video. At the talent show in 6th grade at Burnett Middle School. Where's the video, dude? I was tagged in the video. I had to be tagged in the video, right? I was tagged in it. Was I tagged in it? Dude, I don't even know how to use Facebook anymore. Does anyone use Facebook? Do you even know how to use Facebook? Do you know what Billie Jean is about? Yes, I know now. I know what Billie Jean is now. I know what it is now. It's about a woman who was trying to get some money out of Michael, quite frankly. Damn, I don't have this video, dude. It's somewhere in the archives. The video is there in the archives. I gotta find it. Let me see if I just type on Facebook, Amit Billie Jean. Would that pop up? At the time, I didn't know what the hell Billie Jean was about. I didn't know what Billie Jean was about. Yeah, I don't have it. Guys, I'm gonna have to try to find it. I don't have it. But the point is, I was obsessed with Michael, right? And that's why I enjoyed it. Okay, I got to show you guys something. So first off, I saw this question in chat. How's the VC fund going? The VC fund is going good. We haven't found a deal to invest in yet. I was having a meeting with Derek today. And it's going pretty cool. It's really fun. He's teaching me a lot about learning what VC is like. Derek, dude, I don't think people understand that he told me some investments he seeded that I didn't even know he seeded that are public companies today. And when he told me those shit, I was like, what the fuck? Like, how do you know these people? So like, he's been around this game for so long, and we haven't found a deal to do yet, but that's also because the rigor of like actually investing in a deal is like so intense to him. So if you guys have deals, amitderekfund@gmail.com. Make sure you email. Okay, speaking of Derek, so me and Derek had a bet. Okay, the bet was if Tesla goes down after earnings, he has to buy me a share. No, I have to buy him a share. If Tesla goes up after earnings, I have to buy him a share. Tesla went up after earnings, and that means that he had to buy me a share. Derek, amitderekfund@gmail.com, Rogue Trader. It's in the chat. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I am here to present to you an official share of Tesla. I will be a Tesla shareholder for the rest of my freaking life, okay? And in 5 years, Kathy Wood says this shit should be worth $5,000. So, or sorry, $2,000. So Tesla Inc. for me, 1 share. Tesla Inc., the corporation, transferable on the share register of the corporation and the holder of in person or duly authorized, blah, 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 blah. And there you go. This is 1 share. Now, the really funny thing about this is the quote he put at the end, okay? He said he was going to attach a quote at the end because you're allowed to do it via this website. And this is the quote, okay? This is the quote. This is the fucking quote, dude. When I saw this shit today, I was laughing my ass off, dude. Like, this is crazy, dude. This is the funniest quote of all time. For those that are listening, it's "Hey, Amit Kukragia, go fuck yourself." Love, Derek Watt. And the reason for that quote is number one, he lost the bet, so he's like, "Go fuck yourself," right? Number two, the reason he bet Tesla was going to go down on earnings is because Elon said, "Go fuck yourself" to everybody. And so Derek was like, dude, this fucking stock's in the gutter. Like, this company's just full of shit right now. It's probably going to go down after earnings, which he was right about. Like, it should have went down after earnings, but somehow it went up. And as a result of that, we have the quote for life, "Go fuck yourself" on this thing. This is awesome, dude. This is great. It's going to be hung up like in the back as a Tesla shareholder. Look at that Tesla logo right there too. So yeah, I will be a shareholder of Tesla forever. I'm never going to sell this. I don't even know how you would sell this, but literally this thing should be worth, Derek paid what, $160 a share for this? This should be worth like $10,000 one day, maybe in like 50 years or something. Who knows? It should be at least worth $2,000 in 5 years if Kathy's right. But yeah, that's what we got in the context of Tesla. So there we go. We got a Tesla share forever. It looks official. Yeah, it's from giveashare.com. That's the website. It's a good website. Giveashare.com for those that want to check out. Giveashare.com. Okay. Cool. So let's get back to the other questions. There were a bunch of other questions when I said, what else do we want to talk about? I think there were some good ones. Before we start talking about social media, someone said, you can put them in the chat again. Someone said, right here, I saw it. Hopefully, blah, 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 blah. Oh, this one. What did you want to do when you were younger, like when you grew up, but if you weren't doing YouTube full time? You know, the answers, I don't know, dude. I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, this was the question. What would you want to do if you weren't doing YouTube? It's a really good question. Oh, let's put in the chat. What is your dream job for everyone who's doing, you know, a job that might not be their dream job or that is doing their dream job right now? Put in the chat. What would you want to do if you could do something all day? I think like, honestly, dude, as I'm getting older, I just want to invest. Like, I just love studying the public markets, looking at equities, analyzing businesses, and then making a decision on if there's a market opportunity. Now, to really do that, you need to have more capital, right? You can't be doing that with just like low six figures. You need to have a decent amount of capital. So it's a slow journey to get to that higher level of capital. But when you do get that higher level of capital, I do think the dream, at least for me right now, which is, I guess I'm kind of living it to an extent, is like invest and then make content. And if you're making content about what you're investing in, it kind of is very symbiotic with each other, right? And so that's the dream. Now, when I was younger, I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to be a basketball player. I had a lot of different things I wanted to do. But as I got older, I was like, okay, I want to be able to get my voice out there and perform. Like, literally, the market open, market closed. There's no master plan behind them. I just enjoy doing it. And I think it can grow. And as it grows, it becomes more fun because there's just more people. And one day, you know, you never just know where that can go. But there's never going to be a course. There's never going to be, you know, like there's not like, oh, there's 5,000 people I can sell a course for $200 and make like that's not the idea. The idea is like, let's just do it every single day. And if we can make money off of investing, then, you know, we don't have to sell some stupid course. We can make money off of investing and we can still enjoy producing every day and performing every day. Lisa says, right options and invest. Yup. I think option selling is a big part of like what living the dream could look like, because it's an actual business. And if you have a substantial amount of capital and you know what you're doing, it can really, you know, you can make a lot of money off that, or at least a decent return off the collateral you're using without having to work a 9-to-5, right? There's a real potential there. John says he wants to be a sniper for the US Army. That was his dream when he was 10 years old. You know, I never wanted to do anything crazy like that or be in the military and things like that. Was never, I could see how you want to do that. Though probably if you played Call of Duty a lot, but that was never my my core, nothing that I wanted to do. The wheel deal. Yeah. Wheeling and dealing. That could work. Click buttons and watch the number go up. Yeah. Basically that's investing. That's what we got to do. Invest Robotaxi. Invest Robotaxi. I want to be an OnlyFans star. Okay. I think you can still do that tomorrow, right? You can definitely do that. Master Gana says, I got my dream job working at the Volvo R&D department and working right next to Figure AI, but can't buy a share. Dude, that's crazy. That means you're in Cali, right? That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I think I think what I would want to do, like full time, is what I'm doing right now, full time, but just take it to the next level. And to do that, you just got to grow. And because like I'm 26, I'll be 27 in a few months. I think the next 3 years are the time to really double down on it and see if it can grow. Because if it can grow, like there is a world where it can just be much bigger than it is right now. And so that's the goal. And it's been super fun journey along the way, and it's not been super profitable, right? From a money perspective, like my friends that are working at JP Morgan they're making way more than me, but they hate their lives, right? Their lives suck. And there's not really a lot of potential in their lives. Like every day I get to wake up and there's potential to the day. The day is exciting. You get to enjoy the day. You get to perform. You get to communicate. You get to talk to people, meet people, network, all this stuff. A lot of the people that went that route, they did it just, it's ironic we're talking about this. I was talking to a friend of mine. My friend is 22 and he's graduating college. And he got a job at Bloomberg. And we were talking the other day and we were on FaceTime and he was just like, yo, he's making a decent amount of money on the side. When I say decent, I mean like we're talking about, it could get, if he keeps doing what he's doing on his run rate, he's going to do $250,000 this year. He's 22, right? Which is amazing. It's fantastic. Like I was doing nothing like that when I was 22. And he has a full-time offer at Bloomberg. And he was just like, should I fucking quit Bloomberg and like do this? And we had a long discussion about it. And I was just like, well, wait a second. You're telling me you could potentially get $250,000 based on your run rate right now? He's like, yes. And he seemed very confident. He wasn't like bullshit. This guy's a good head on his shoulders, right? He's not an idiot. And then I was just like, well, how would you get to that $250,000? He was like, and then he just laid out his steps, laid out his plan. And he was like, dude, I'm doing this 2 times a month. If I could do, and I'm making this much money, if I could do this fucking every single day of the month, I'm going to, I know how I'm going to scale this. And then so my advice to him was just like, dude, why the fuck would you get a job, right? Like, first of all, the biggest reason people get a job is because of the money and the security. If you're young enough, you can avoid the security, especially if you have good parents, right? You can like, and parents that are willing to subsidize some of your journey. You can avoid the security, which is like the 401k and all that shit. And you can go all in on a risky thing. And if you already have some level of product market fit, which to me was the initial traction of the YouTube channel, I was like, okay, this is somewhat there. Let's just see what happens if we go all in. For him, he has actual revenue coming in from his side gig and he can actually scale it. Then there's no point of getting the job, because you can get the job if the thing fails, right? Like if you got a job at Bloomberg once, you can get a job at Bloomberg 2 years later. It's not, you're a smart guy. So to me, I think it's a question of like risk and reward based on opportunity cost. But I think if you're young, the opportunity cost of doing something boring is very bad. Like even a lot of things in my life have changed primarily because of meeting someone like Derek and having the connections and ability to access just his like insane brain with all the shit he knows about the world and success he's had. And that only happened because I was pumping out so many videos a day because I was seizing on the opportunity. And ironically, one of the guys on the other half of the screen was this dude who was watching named Derek Wall, who now I have a fucking VC fund with, right? Like it's actually insane how this thing turns out, but you never know where it's going to go until you try. And if you think there's a sign of product market fit and you try, you could still fail. I failed at plenty of things, so that kid that I was talking about, he might fail at this, but if there's a sign of product market fit, you let that adventure take you where you can go, and then if it fails, it fails. But like not doing it because you're scared, which he's not scared. I think he's just logically trying to figure out what it doesn't make sense. I think it's something you got to do. You got to do. Mick, can we get a Meta Ray-Ban review? I don't have the Meta Ray-Bans. I heard some people really like that product. Again, you guys know my opinion on wearables, dude. I think it's stupid. I think glasses, goggles, Vision Pro, blah, blah, blah. I think it's all stupid. I think it's dumb. I'm not using it. I don't think anyone's ever going to use it. I think long-term these products are not going to win. I think some segment of the population will wear it, but most people won't. So if I'll buy one day just to see what it feels like, but I can't imagine myself using it, right? It would be something short-term to have. But yeah, at the end of the day, I do think risk reward is based on opportunity cost, and then opportunity cost ultimately comes from where do you want your life to be. And I think if you have a vision for your life, then it becomes a question of like, what risks am I willing to take and how much rewards am I willing to forego in the meantime while I'm taking those risks, which ironically, most of my friends, they didn't go that route, dude. You will find, I guess, as you grow older, and I'm sure many people can relate, very few people around you end up taking substantial risks in their life. Like when I mean substantial risks, and I'm not just talking about investing, I mean like life risks, like they do something that's like out there, and it's hard. It's really fucking hard to do that. You have a wife, you have kids, you have obligations, family, all this stuff. It's really difficult. But the older you get, I think the more people have regret that they're not taking as many risks as they want to, which is why in investing, you know, when you see a good company, it's like, dude, it's like there's not that many good companies out there. If there's a good company, even on the bad days, you ride with that company. And I think a lot of my friends just didn't end up going that route at all. Harvey says, thank you for your hard work and keeping us updated and entertained. Thank you, Harvey, for being here. It means a lot to me. Josh says, are you investing more into the VC fund or stock market? How do you plan your investments if income isn't 100% stable? So I've said this before. I am not investing into the VC fund. The VC fund is pretty much Derek's capital, and I'm providing the marketing and distribution to find the deals to be able to get opportunities to invest in, which both of them play a role. I mean, yeah, you need the money to invest, but you also need the deals, and it's not easy to find the deals, right? The deals are like, I'm learning as I go through these decks that I'm getting in my email that most deals suck, dude. They suck so bad. So the cool thing about this fund is that Derek has money. Like it's not, that's not a problem, right? Like the money's there. We don't have to raise a fund. The problem is, can we get the deals? And so the unique part of this is the marketing angle. And we've gotten some good deals. It's just like most deals, like from a VC perspective, can you think this can become a $1 billion company? It's very hard. It's very hard. I'm learning to like actually find a good deal. So that's the dynamics of the fund, and that's the goal of it. And that's the idea. And the goal is, you know, as my brand can grow, we can get more distribution. I mean, this is what basically Jason Calacanis did, right? Jason Calacanis, he grew a brand. He's the biggest VC right now in the Valley. Not the biggest VC, but he's one of the biggest angel investors. Everyone knows him. Like if you get Jason as an investor, you know, people take your company seriously, right? And if you build that brand through content, the money Jason gets, I mean, Jason has so much money that he raises from LPs. I think his latest fund was $40 million. Not a single dollar of that is Jason Calacanis' personal money. It's all other people's money, but he's able to raise it because he has such a good brand. And that brand allows him to find deals. Remember, he invested in Uber when it was worth $5 million. He invested in Robinhood when it was worth like $10 million. Those companies are multi-billion-dollar companies. And as a result of that, you know, he's made a lot of money from that. What else do we got? Sanjay, what's up? Nice Sunday surprise stream. Yeah, it's Sunday for you. It's Saturday from me. But thank you for being here. If a Mick gets swole, that means he's late more than once on the morning open. I don't trust New Jersey traffic. Ironically, the gym next to me is actually really good. The gym that I have. It's like 10 minutes away, and there's never that much traffic in the morning. I am, you know, my arms are getting up there in terms of like swollenness, I guess, but I'm trying to lose more weight from the cardio side. So I'm trying to do both at the same time. And hopefully that'll be good. Where's the Lakers score right now? Oh my God. What's the Lakers score? Oh, wow. 91-78. Wow. The Lakers are up. Let's hope they finish this in Q4. wait. I'm thinking Q4 as a stock perspective. It's Q4. It's quarter four. But yeah, it's still quarter. I was thinking like, is it not quarter in the NBA? No, it's still quarter four. Q4. I was literally thinking of it like it's fucking stocks. But yeah, I was hoping in Q4 they figure it out. It's quarter four, right? That's it. The NBA is 4 quarters, right? I'm not saying it wrong, right? Yeah, it's 4 quarters, dude. It's 4 quarters. Okay, I'm saved on that one. I'm saved. Let's see. Farzad returned his Vision Pro, and Marcus Brownlee said he didn't see much use case. This is what I'm saying, dude. Every time I tweet about the Vision Pro's a dud, there's so many Apple boys that are just like, how could you say that? I'm just like, dude, no one uses it. Like, we know no one uses it. It's okay, but no one uses it. We understand it. No one uses this shit. And I don't know if anyone will ever use it, dude. I don't know. It goes to overtime and it says the game is going to after hours. Oh my God, dude. Dude, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Bro, I'm sleeping on my back, so I would use it to watch a movie laying flat. LOL, that's it. Yeah, same. All right, you guys want to, okay, so I want to talk about this. You guys, so I even though I'm on social media, right, and I talk about like stock market and like global capital equity markets and things of that nature, and it's super fun, I have been going down some crazy rabbit holes on TikTok, okay? And I want to show you guys some of the shit that I've been watching. I have just like, I got to show you some of this shit. And I got to know, am I crazy for liking this stuff or is it like, is it not just me? Like, does would anyone fall into this rabbit hole? So I'm going to try to pull up the shit that I've been watching on TikTok. Okay. I gotta pull this up. So, why is the videos not opening? Hold on. Why is the... Okay, hold on. Let me do it on Safari. Kris says we'll discuss preferred shares. Okay, Kris, let me send it to you in like 10 minutes. Let me do this and then I'll pull it up. Get your beer in the meantime. Okay. So, dude, why aren't the fucking TikTok? Okay, I'm just gonna go on Instagram. I think she's also on Instagram. There's this girl, dude, that's popped up on Instagram or TikTok, whatever. And I've become obsessed with her content. And I'm going to show you why I'm obsessed with her content. It's not what you guys think. You guys think it's probably because I think the girl is cute. It's like, yeah, the girl's cute, but there's more than that. On Instagram, it works. Okay. So she has a baby, dude. And this baby is the cutest baby of all time. I cannot explain how cute this baby is, dude. This is the cutest baby of literal all time. All right. And I just got to show you guys some of these reels with this baby because it's just so cute. It's just so cute. I like, they have better content on TikTok. I wish the fucking, why is TikTok not loading? Why does it say refresh? Did they already ban this stupid fucking thing? Why is it not working? It says that it needs to install the app. Is it going to force me to install the app? Oh, here it is. Now, does it work here? Okay, it kind of works. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Yeah, TikTok, there's better content here. Okay, I think they already banned this shit because it's not going to well. I'm gonna have to access her videos this way. Okay, I got it. So this baby, dude, it's the cutest baby in the world, dude. All right, so let me get a video. Okay, let's watch this.
Do you love mommy?
Oh my god, dude, all this stupid security.
Do you love dada?
No.
All right, here we go. It's the cutest video
Do you love
ever. I just got away from it.
Do you love mommy?
Can you guys?
Do you love
Dude, I
dada?
try to scroll out. Why is it like this, dude? Why is it
Do
so
you love
dumb?
mommy?
All right, here we go.
Oh. Do you love dada?
No.
Oh.
Wiggles.
Oh, you want to watch the Wiggles?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you.
Oh.
Dude, tell me this isn't the cutest shit ever, dude. I've been watching so many of these videos.
Do you
So many of these
How am I
fucking
supposed
videos.
to get anything done when I have this thing living in my house? All I want to do is look at you and kiss your face, okay? How am I supposed to?
I don't know why I've been obsessed with this shit, but I've been obsessed with it. Like, dude, I don't know why. It's just this is what I'm looking at on TikTok nowadays. It's this little baby and his mom. And so it's so interesting. The reason I bring that up is because, like, yeah, we talk about the stock market here, but I wonder, so this is a question to the chat. What do you guys watch externally outside of stock market content that you can get into a rabbit hole into? Because on TikTok, it's this cute baby. That's it. Like that's what I'm watching. And dogs, dude. Fucking dogs. Like I'm finding out all the different breeds of dogs that exist, and I'm just watching all these videos. There's this one big dog that like just slobbers over everything, and there's like a trillion videos of him, and I watch this all day. They're pimping their baby. That's correct. They're pimping their baby, 100%. That baby has no idea he's getting pimped. But if it's building a life for them, that's better. Then maybe that's a good way to do it. But why are we watching a baby? Is it AI? Dude, we're watching a baby because I'm saying I get obsessed with like these baby videos on TikTok. It's actually ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Dude, I don't have baby fever. It's not like that. It's just, I don't know. It's like a getaway from the stock market stuff. Like if I went on TikTok and I saw like a clip of CNBC, I would just like scroll. Like I do not want to see that stuff when I'm there, dude. Like there's a certain time during the day where I want to watch that stuff, and by the end of the day, I'm like, I don't want to watch this shit anymore, dude. I just want to like watch a little baby and his mom. It's just so cute. It's just so freaking cute. Talk more Tesla, bro. I'm a Tesla shareholder for life, man. Those that are just joining. Official Tesla shareholder for life. So prank videos. You watch prank videos? Dude, I had a phase when I watched prank videos. Music and dog cat videos. Yup. I love watching people power wash concrete. Yup. There you go. Power wash concrete. That's also super fun. Amit, I went down a TikTok rabbit hole, me eagerly waiting for a UFO talk, philosophical debate, etc. Amit, look at this baby. Dude, they're cute. There's this other baby. I don't know if you've seen him. He goes viral at Target. He like says hi to everybody at Target. Oh, can I get this video? This video is so good. This video is so good. Target baby. Target baby. You guys have had to see this video, dude. This video is the best thing ever. This video is literally the best thing ever. It's a baby that just says hi to everybody at Target. And everyone loves it. Oh man, I can't. TikTok's being weird on the computer. It's not showing it. Could I just find it? Yeah, could I just show you on my phone? Kris is in the chat. Is he in the chat? He's here. It's in the link. Okay, Kris, the chat. This link is in the chat. Link is in the chat. I'm gonna send Steve a link too. See if this comes up. Let me see this baby, dude. Target baby. This shit is the cutest shit ever. Okay, here's the video. Let's watch this video real quick, then we'll get Kris. Here we go. Okay.
Azar, don't come in here saying hey to everybody, okay?
Okay.
Hi, I like your bodyguard. I don't.
Come on. Come on. Okay, come on.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, that is so nice. It's not even open yet. But this is amazing that you share. And you're so handsome. Say thank you. You're so welcome.
This is what I watch on TikTok, dude. I'm sorry. This is what I'm watching all day. Kris, what's up?
Nothing much, dude.
Can't
Just
hear
got
you.
back.
Oh, never mind. We
Okay.
can hear you. You're good.
Just got back from that wedding I was talking to you about. Dude, white people, you guys are so freaking lucky. All right. Your weddings are amazing. They're simple. They're easy to do. The entire time, me and the wife were just like, man, I envy these white people. It's so simple. You go to church, the priest makes a couple of jokes, says a couple of sermons. It's, hey, you do, and then it's a reception, and then you're pretty much all done. You're good to go.
Did you wait? Whose wedding was it?
It was like one of my wife's coworkers.
Okay. And
Yeah.
do you know them well, or they were just like, it was a
Not
formality?
really. But dude, I could tell you that the wedding maybe cost maybe $20,000 at the most, with everything included. Bro, I spent close to like 100, and like after everything came out to be about 120 to 140,000 for my wedding.
Indian.
And this was 2019. Okay. My cousin just got married in Nashville last year. That shit was like 400,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's freaking nuts, man.
It's
Nuts.
I think Indians need to like have the big thing, and it's like it doesn't matter, but to Indians it matters so much, dude. Even my mom is getting ready for my sister's wedding to like save so much money, and
you have to, dude.
to.
It's the reason why they're expensive is like, first of all, my wedding was 3 days long. Like,
Yeah.
there's the guys portion, and then the girls, they do their own thing at home. And then after that, you get married. And then it's like the actual Indian ceremony, which is next. And then after that is the reception. But the thing is, like, because of how like wide my family is and her family is, we had close to like 450 people roughly. All catered. It was like 3 days long. 3 days long, dude.
Okay, so you had a wedding. Is that it? That's all you did today?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so how do we get rich, dude? What do we buy?
Okay, so first and foremost, just buy Celsius. No, I'm just kidding. I do have a pretty big position in Celsius now.
You're adding to it, right, as it comes down?
Yeah. I pretty much own like one of the leap contracts. Like if you look at like how many contracts are outstanding, I pretty much have majority of those contracts outstanding.
Yeah.
So that's just how big my position is. But it's just a great company. They're doing really well on sales. They've got marketing on point, dude. Like they have really good influencer marketing that they're able to tap into. Like, I don't know if you saw, they were at a Coachella. They actually had like a giant booth there. So it's very reminiscent of what we saw when I was in college, the Red Bull girls. I mean, this is like way before your time. I don't know if the
I
Red Bull
remember. I
girls,
used to watch them. I remember.
I don't know. So they used to come in their car, and dude, it was awesome. So Celsius is approaching a very similar demographic where they're really taking a big chunk out of the younger generation. And I think the key with this energy drink versus like Monster and Red Bull is that it actually works towards people that want fitness, but it also does not ignore the female demographic, which is what I like about it. Because I mean, you know, one of the best performing stocks outside of Celsius has been Elf Beauty,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think so many people ignore these brands that cater to women, and people don't understand. Like women these days have higher disposable incomes than guys do. So if they're into something, you best believe it's a great place to invest, man. So that's why sometimes I'll ask my wife or like some of her friends sometimes, which is weird. Like, hey, like what do you guys use more often? What do you guys like? What are some of the new brands that are coming out that like fit into your psyche? So
Again,
Yeah.
I don't like how it tastes, but everyone else does. So I guess I'm on an island and it's growing. So that's really all that
Yeah.
matters. You actually drink it. You actually like how it tastes.
So the thing is, I initially did not like it.
Okay.
I was with you, but then I found a flavor that I did like, and I would say it's how do I say this right? It's not something that I would drink every day because it's just a lot of caffeine. And the
Yeah.
thing is, I don't necessarily need to use that caffeine, but I could definitely see a demographic of people that work out hardcore and they need this really giant boost of caffeine energy to get them through the day. So I know some people just do that. And I know some people say inner drinks come and go. But if that was the case, then how come Monster is doing 6.5, 7 billion in sales? God knows what Red Bull is doing in sales. So unfortunately, it's not as simple as that. So it's not just, oh, energy drinks come and go. I think there are some energy drinks that never get to the point where they're like they get enough market share that they last. But from what I can tell, the energy drinks market, from the research that I've done, is still growing at almost like a 15% CAGR per year. So yeah.
Okay. So Celsius. We don't have to do an official pod on Snowflake, but just like, what's your like 5-minute thesis, high level, for why you're getting excited? And do you have the position yet on Snowflake, or you're
I
scaling
do.
it?
I have a good position on Snowflake already. I added to it on Friday. So the key to Snowflake, number one, after they got sold off because of this new CEO, and them lowering their guidance from expected about 35% to 22%, which is a huge drop.
Yeah.
It was it came out to be very obvious that they were really sandbagging themselves. And the new CEO's focus on getting AI to be more of a centerpiece in Snowflake is the bull thesis. Now, the thing is, when it came to Frank Slootman is not really a products guy. He's a sales guy. Like he literally is a sales guy. He can make people supermen when it comes to sales, right? This guy, on the other hand, Sridhar Ramaswamy, is a products guy. He comes from the engineering background. And the good thing is that every interview that I've heard from him and everything, his goal is get products out the door, make them as efficient as possible, right? And do it with a basically a low cost way of getting things done. So when I looked at the new LLM, see, some people just think, oh, LLMs are just a commodity. Who cares? Like, everyone's got an LLM these days. That's the argument that I keep hearing from everybody. But there's actually some key differentiators in this LLM versus the other ones. Number one, this one is fully open sourced. The other ones, there are some other open source ones, but they're not full open source. Like you can use this LLM by Snowflake for commercial, for research, whatever you want, you can use it. Right? The other ones have like restrictions in place saying, oh, you could use it for this purpose, but you can't use it for this one. And this is the open ones. Okay. When you look at like ChatGPT is closed. You look at some of the other LLMs, they're completely closed source. So that there's no There's no like tinkering with the insides of it. This one is open to developers, open source, so people can really get used to it. So one, I really like open source. When you have open source, you just get a lot more adoption from a community, and then you can build a community around it. You know, there's a lot of great products that are out there that are open source products that people don't necessarily realize. But you know, their technology is all based on open source technology, and they've done really well with it. So one, I like the fact that it's open source. That means that I think from a utilization standpoint that they'll actually be able to get a lot of people to use this pretty quickly. You know, the other thing about it that I really like is that the way they went about creating this thing, it's built for the enterprise specifically. So if you think that it's going to be just like a general purpose LLM, it's probably not. Like the focus here is going to be specifically on enterprise use cases.
Yeah.
And that is a really good thing, because that is where I think the value is when it comes to generating money. I don't think that there's a lot of value in generating cat videos or generating, you know, some kind of picture. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the LLMs and everything else, or basically like doing other things that people do, asking questions and having them like write a thesis on something. I don't see necessarily the value in that just yet. But when it comes to enterprise use cases, there's tons out there. So I think what it is when it comes to LLMs, these guys are tailoring it specifically for the enterprise. And one of the great things is if you are a Snowflake client right now, which there are a lot of Snowflake clients that use the database, you can layer it on top, and you can use the other open source LLMs that are out there also. You're not like, oh yeah, you just have to use Snowflake's Arctic LLM. Like you can use the other ones. This one also.
This is the part I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you need Arctic if you have GPT-5 or Llama that is open source?
Well, first of all, GPT-5 is not free. You have to pay for it, right?
This is not free. Snowflake's Arctic's not free. If someone's paying to train these LLMs, which
no. So Snowflake is paying to train them. Okay, but that's the other thing. This one is actually very, very low cost to train. Did you see that?
But also that begs the question:
Mm-hmm.
it might suck, right? like if it's low cost to train, there might be a reason.
Well, that's the beauty of it. That's not necessarily always the case. You know, that's why when you looked at the stuff, that's why the benchmarks were there. But did you see
it doesn't even beat Llama's latest model that just came out, which is also open source.
See, that's the thing that you keep forgetting. So imagine right now you have a Ferrari and you have a Toyota, right? Not everyone needs a fucking Ferrari to get from point A to point B. It's nice to have a Ferrari, but sometimes you don't need a Ferrari. You could just do it with a Toyota. So the everyday man doesn't need to say, I need the best model that's trained on the highest specs that's going to require a crap ton of resources. Sometimes if you're just trying to do a limited use case, you just need to do a limited use case. If I'm trying to go to the park and back, I don't need a Ferrari. You know what I mean? Or a bulldozer. Think of it that way. A lot of these other.
How does this get them to grow massively, dude? Like introducing an LLM to me. All right. So what is the competitive advantage you think of the LLM outside
the competitive advantage for Snowflake is in its business model. It's based on consumption.
Right.
So the more people use workloads that are on Snowflake, the more money that you can actually get from your clients. So right now you're storing all this data on the Snowflake warehouses and data lakes. Yeah. So the thing is, now you get a whole bunch of developers to build applications that are industry specific, that are company specific, like corporate specific, and they run queries. Every time they run a query, Snowflake gets a small piece of that, right? Over time, those small pieces, they grow massively.
I get it, and I think that's valuable. I don't understand why this is going to replace something like Copilot, GPT.
It wouldn't.
Llama.
See, I think that's the mistake that you're trying that you're making. You don't need to replace these things. These things can be very adjacent. No one says you can't own a Ferrari and you can't, or like right now. Okay, just look at me. My wife has a Lexus, right? And we have a Toyota. What's it called?
No, but Kris, I get your point. The point is, why does Snowflake get value if they're being used with all the other LLMs? Like if I'm Toyota, if I'm a Coca-Cola and I have all these LLMs, Snowflake included,
Mhm.
Isn't the value in deriving the intelligence from the LLMs, not the LLM itself?
Well, that's the thing. If you have all your data repository stored in Snowflake,
Why? No, but
right?
why would I use Snowflake's LLM? Like, I don't see how easy of a connection you're making.
You don't need it to. But the thing is, the more
Then what's the
developers,
value?
hold on. The more developers that you can get to be integrated into the ecosystem, the better. So, as an example, if you have Snowflake as your data warehouse, you can have these Arctic models on there also, and the integration is going to be a lot easier because you're all learning about in the same ecosystem rather than trying to learn more stuff about the other LLMs.
I think I disagree with that. I don't understand why the Arctic model, just because your data is on Snowflake, would be easier than plugging in something like GPT, because we already see companies.
First of all,
plugging
GPT
in-
is not free. GPT is not free.
Okay,
this
but
one is free.
Companies will pay
right?
for something that's good, right? If this thing's going to hallucinate all day, which
Right.
I definitely don't doubt it's not going to hallucinate, then it's not going to be worth it. Like the elephant in the room here is that Palantir's ontology and AIP connecting all these LLMs to derive value is, I think, where the moat is, not another LLM.
This is
Like
this
that's
is the
what I'm
thing-
confused about. Why are you picking an LLM over the software or the infrastructure to connect the LLMs? It seems like that's what matters, right?
No. You kind of want, first of all, you want as much vendor lock-in as possible, right? You want as many people to be on your data warehouses as possible, and then you want people running queries on top of it, whether they're doing it directly or they're doing it through SQL or they're doing it with a Snowflake-based application, right? If you look right now, one of the reasons why they did acquisitions of something like Streamlit, of Applica, now of Neva, is so this way they can get all those things together. The goal here for Snowflake right now is to have an LLM that now, instead of just basically trying to run queries using SQL like you did in the past, a regular user can just ask a question and then go into the data warehouse and the repositories, get that data and bring it to the forefront. And you don't need all this additional stuff. You also don't need
But you also don't need Arctic. You also, like, all that additional stuff is already there, Kris. These models have penetrated the enterprise landscape over the past
right,
few
but
years.
that's what I'm trying to tell you. They're not free. They cost money to run.
Okay, so
They
we got
cost
Rumi in the chat
workloads to
says it
run.
costs $20 a seat. Is that what you're scared about?
Enterprises don't care about 20. No. ChatGPT is not just $20 a seat.
Even if it's
man.
paying by usage, it's like 0.00 cents per query. Like these are things that add up, but it's not like Arctic is significantly going to reduce those costs or be significantly better to justify those costs.
So what did Christian do? Let me explain this from a technical point of view. Because Snowflake is a data warehouse, you have to move data off of it that you can use it in a transaction way. Snowflake is not where you want to build a
query
engine.
I think query.
Yeah.
Query. I don't
Yeah.
see the vision, dude. I think this is a cop out. I think they don't have a plan for AI. I think they don't know what the fuck they're doing when it comes to AI. I think Brad Gerstner's fucking wrong on this. I think Palantir is the obvious answer. You need an ontology of your data to derive value. I don't think it's.
I
just like
I can't disagree with you more, man.
But your arguments just they need an LLM is cool.
An LLM is not just cool, but there's actually use cases that right now, you know what? I'm not going to talk too much about it because I told you I don't want to talk about something that I don't know. And right now, this literally just got released 3 days ago. All right. I want to see.
You don't have to know a lot about it. It's just high level. We're just talking straight high level. You don't have to know technicals about it. I'm just in general, at the baseline view, it's an LLM that you plug into it. I agree with you here. 8,000 customers use Snowflake. So they can email 8,000 customers tomorrow, say, hey, do you want to use Arctic? What I am baffled by is why any of those customers would give a fuck about Arctic. I can't see the sort of argument there. Okay, we got someone who's joined right now. We got Justin here. Justin, what's up? I think you just told me in the private chat you can contribute to the Snowflake discussion. So what's up?
Yeah.
How are you?
Doing good. Can you guys hear me?
We can.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I mean, just overall, I just want to say hi. Not necessarily, jumping into the Snowflake thing because I actually own Snowflake myself.
Okay.
But just overall, man, I watch you every morning. I'm a stockbroker. You see that computer in the back? I work for Charles Schwab. I do the bond desk, and I love it with treasuries, CDs, bonds all day long. So I I get a feel of the actual millionaires is who I deal with all day long.
I have a bond guy also that I reach out to at Fidelity. I love it because you guys get me way better pricing than what you see online. Like a lot of times people will just go online and try to, because they have the online portals that you can go to, especially Fidelity. But usually when you look at the bid and ask, it's horrible. But if I call them at the bond desk, they're like, hey, listen, I can do this. Let me know. And they usually call me back 15 minutes later saying, I can execute this at a much better price. Okay, do it. You know?
Yeah, but when you're dealing with treasuries, it's usually pretty. You ain't got much of a bid and ask.
Yeah,
especially with the Schwab website at least.
Justin, where are you based?
So I'm out of St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
And you work for Schwab, right?
Work for Schwab. I don't leave the house. I mean,
so you watch the market open pretty much every day.
Every day, yeah. I gave it up. I gave up CNBC. I one day I just started watching you, and you know, I mean, I live and die. I mean, if you're late, it messes with me.
I'll make sure I don't repeat the CPI. So hold on. My question.
It was a disaster.
CPI was there's 700 people waiting. I fucked up that day. What do you think of my Robinhood thesis?
So I like Robinhood. So I came from Scottrade originally in 2015. I started at Scottrade, and then TD Ameritrade bought us out in 2018. I lived through that, and then I actually made enough money to where I quit at literally January the 2nd of 2020, right before the pandemic.
Okay.
I wanted to log on my resume so I could say, okay, I worked for TD Ameritrade to 2020. You know, so I just waited a couple extra days. Plus, I got the benefits for the whole year. And then all of a sudden, the pandemic hit. I took some time off, and then didn't work until I worked at Citibank actually as a home equity rep, home equity line of credit. You know, just making money, you know, just to pay the bills. And then all of a sudden, I went from there to Edward Jones, and I worked for the second top advisor at Edward Jones in Missouri. And we had like a book of $500 million, and I would just deal with his clients only. And this is like 2023 in the middle of the bear market, or 2022. And it was intense because we talked to these clients, and I made a script, and I just made the script because I used to be a salesman, and I'd talk to his clients, and I would just say, look, you know, you're buying great American companies, okay, and you got to understand that, you know, these great American companies, you know, when their costs go up, we're talking the raw materials, when they got to pay more to transport these raw materials to the gas, they got to pay their employment. I go, these great American companies have the ability to take these additional costs and pass them to their customers by raising prices. I go, and that's how you've been beating inflation. That's how you're going to continue to beat inflation going forward.
Mm.
You know, and it's all about, you just got to invest in these companies. You got to go there in the battlefield.
So you think Robinhood relates to that from a...
Okay. So anyways, I'm just getting back to my history. So then I went from there, Edward Jones. This guy was like a narcissist, man. So it was tough to work from. So I went back to Schwab, and I've been doing fixed income ever since. So, but basically what I'm saying, back to the, what you're saying about Robinhood is, they disrupted the industry, man, and I think they got a great thesis because, you know, they got the Bitcoin. You can buy Bitcoin on there and everything like that. You know what I mean?
So tell us also about Snowflake. What are your thoughts, given you own Snowflake?
So I think they completely sandbagged the quarter. I was completely surprised by the CEO getting out of there. Everybody loves him, you know. Jim Cramer literally loves the guy. You know what I mean? So, you know, but no, I just think they sandbagged it. It's just one of the stocks I own. Who cares? You know, it's a buying opportunity. I mean, come on.
I think that's one thing Kris is right about. I don't know if Arctic is going to matter. And Kris, what are your thoughts on this? I do think it's been sold off. And as a trade, it's like going to 250 over the next 2 years, I think is probably easy.
What are you going to lose? $10 on the earning call, worst case scenario?
Yeah.
The value alone in that company, brand name alone, you're going to, no matter what, be at 140. Best case scenario, you're going back to $400. I mean, it's a freaking, you know, who cares? Just be patient.
Okay. That's not, what are you drinking?
Corona.
Bud Select. Yeah.
Bud Select.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Justin. Thanks for joining, man. Thank you for watching every day. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it. Means a
All
lot.
right, guys. Peace out, Kris.
See you.
Later. Yeah.
So yeah, I think so. Okay, so the Snowflake thesis as well, just from the technicals, we also think it's sold off, right?
Wait, there's also something else that someone mentioned that I forgot. Like from experts in AI, Arctic costs under $2 million to train, half of Llama, and uses and the use case is SQL. SQL is just a lot more wider,
Yeah.
and other coding tasks. There are, trust me, there are use cases right now for Arctic that may not be as transparent as you think right now. I think there's going to be a wider adoption. And once the adoption comes there, it just goes right back into feeding the ecosystem that Snowflake has. So my thing is, in the next probably 6 to 12 months, you're going to see their revenue numbers actually beat. And that's what they're doing. They set themselves up for a significant beat for the next year and a half, 2 years. They're making it very easy for this guy to come in. The other thing is, from a product standpoint, dude, this guy just came in right through the door, and this is like launching products, like getting products to market.
Let's listen to him.
Getting.
Real quick. A minute.
Yeah, I have a better video than that one, but
You have a better one?
Okay,
About this,
yeah.
about Arctic?
Yes, kind of. But go ahead, play that one.
Today for Snowflake, as we release Snowflake Arctic, an open enterprise-grade language model that is truly cutting edge. It's going to let us innovate and build better AI products for our customers. But just as importantly, it's going to let you innovate on the open model as well. Snowflake's already the data foundation for thousands of companies, from AT&T to Comcast to Capital One to Goldman, and many, many more. All of these companies trust Snowflake to be their data foundation for AI. The future of AI is going to be easy, efficient, but most of all, trusted. And it's a big step forward for Snowflake in its AI journey as we build better and better AI products for our customers.
I think one point you do have here is that if they create lock-in because their Snowflake customers already that use Snowflake as their data foundation use the LLM, and like they get to make more from their customers and they don't need to use GPT or anything else, I think you're correct there. I guess my question is, why would that happen? But the obvious answer is because it's easy to use, right? If they're already using Snowflake in general.
Yeah. Well, like I said, there are a lot of things that. Let me see 1 second. Let me see if I can find it really quickly. So you know what's funny? Let me just share this. I was searching for this guy on YouTube for some of the talks, right? And some of it does come up with him, right? But there's also this other guy whose name is Sridhar Ramaswamy, right? And what this guy does is he just like lip syncs to
no,
like.
Don't play it. Don't play it. It's gonna demonetize.
I'm not gonna play it. Yeah, so he just has like all these Indian girls. He's like some old man, and he's like singing with them and shit. And I'm just like, bro, the wrong guy I'm looking for, man. So it's just really funny. But this is the actual interview that we should watch. 1 second.
Oh, he was on Yahoo. Okay, good.
Pedal down on all things AI. Let's welcome in Snowflake CEO Sridhar Ramaswamy. Sridhar, good to have you on here. First time on Yahoo Finance. Can I
put the volume a little up, Kris?
Doing this for a few months.
Mm-hmm.
You can. Super excited to be here. Yahoo Finance is an icon, so I'm thrilled for this conversation.
Oh wow, it's hard to top after a comment like that. But let's start on the news you are delivering to investors today. It is what you call the Open Enterprise AI model. What is that?
Yeah, so AI, as everyone knows, we'll get into a little bit, is poised to revolutionize a lot of what goes on in enterprise software for a variety of reasons, the simplest of which is, for the first time since computers, basically, we can just use natural language to be able to talk to software. And Snowflake Arctic is what's called a large language model, like ChatGPT, which you have heard of. That is open, meaning anybody can use it, but it's also enterprise grade. It is designed to work very, very well in enterprise-related problems, not consumer problems like medical questions. And what it's going to do is it's going to let us, Snowflake, innovate and build better and better products for our customers. And we are one of the few companies on the planet that's done this. And so we are very excited for this step and what is to come.
So after you roll this out, how does Snowflake make money off it? Does a company come to you and say, hey, I want to use this model, and they build something on top of it?
Snowflake's aspiration, Brian, is to make software, to make all data products and AI easy and simple to use. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be integrating this model into our managed model offering. It's called Cortex, so that people that can write SQL, for example, can just use this model, and also other follow-up models that we will be releasing. We'll also be incorporating it into products like a Copilot, which helps analysts write SQL faster, or this product called Document AI, which is going to let business users get structured information from things like contracts, from documents, for example. Is going to be seamlessly integrated, and that's how it fits into our business model. As we make better products, our consumers will use Snowflake more, and as you know, we are a consumption model. We get paid when our customers use Snowflake and get value from it. So all that part flows seamlessly. It's not a new motion for us to be using Arctic and all of the other things that we are doing in AI.
I've really been covering Snowflake going back to the 2020 IPO, Sridhar, and I went back to your recent annual report, just refreshing myself on what the company is up to and what you may be doing in the months and years ahead. It's a complicated company. And in this new role, I imagine you talk to a lot of investors. When you're on the road with them or you're doing various virtual meetings, what's the biggest misunderstanding you're hearing from folks on all things Snowflake at this juncture?
Snowflake has evolved a lot, but I would actually say it is a simple company in that it is still built on the core of an incredibly strong data foundation. And so we are a data cloud first and foremost. People trust us with their data. But what we have revolutionized is, for example, how companies collaborate with data. People used to be sending FTP files to each other. Super error prone, super annoying process. Now people can exchange data in real time across companies, across clouds, across continents. We make that transparent. But more recently, we've also been both working with customers, but also with partners to build applications on top of data. That is a big unlock for lots of people because if you share data with somebody, they value it at a certain level. On the other hand, if you deliver a finished product that can do so much more, you can capture so much more value. It's really that three-part, which is powerful data cloud that keeps expanding, keeps doing more stuff, collaboration, and then applications. That's the 1, 2, 3 of Snowflake. And we're at the frontier on all of these areas. AI is interesting because AI is more horizontal. It's poised to change everything from how data is ingested, moved efficiently, to what kind of applications can you write on top of the data. And that's partly the reason why Arctic is such a big moment, because it says we have the capability to truly infuse AI into each layer of Snowflake and make it better, make it more accessible, and ultimately, yes, make more money for Snowflake.
If there was any knock on the company, it's that it was still unclear this year on how many AI-related products Snowflake would release. But what strikes me with this particular one is you developed it, in 3 months? Do you
in 3 months, start to finish?
That's really amazing speed. Is the message now to investors that Snowflake is really going to pick up the pace on its?
This is actually one of the things I like about this guy. This guy is no nonsense. He gets in there, starts working. I mean, this is the guy that grew Google's ads business from $1 billion to about 100 billion. All right. So he 100x'd their ad revenue using AdWords and search and everything else. So it's not a small guy. I mean, yes, he's very soft spoken. He's very he has a very calm demeanor. But let me tell you, when Frank Slootman and Mike Scarpelli, basically the way that they he ended up becoming the CEO is he was an acqui-hire from Neeva. Now Neeva wanted to disrupt Google. He used to work at Google. He was actually passed over for Sundar. Okay. Yeah. He was like the number 3 at Google. He wasn't like small time by any means, but what he wanted to do was make a better product, but he realized that actually it wasn't like a subscription-based search service that was really good at indexing, really great with everything, but the market wasn't there. Now, one of the things is Snowflake at the time recognized the value of all the technologies and all the staff that this guy had at Neeva. He was able to bring all of these guys to Snowflake and then develop all these products for the Snowflake specific company. Right now, his level of innovation is very quick, get products to market. If you see what Frank and the team were trying to do before, it was good, but it was very slow. This guy, no, products. They have a very aggressive GA strategy right now where they need things to be available ASAP, and he's really putting in the work. Like I said, we'll finish listening to it real quick before we move on. It's only 2 more minutes. So
AI rollouts in the second half of this year?
100%. But this is also where somebody like me that's run large product teams, that has sort of held the pedal to the metal, so to say, for 15 plus years, with the ads team at Google. I really would like to see faster innovation, more of a sense of urgency in the place. After a while, to build a better foundation with which to extend Snowflake, we're seeing the benefits of all of that. So you're going to not only see rapid fire product announcements and deployments, GAs, in AI, but through the rest of what I talked about as well in the data foundation, where we're releasing support for Iceberg, supporting transactional tables, to more stuff being done with collaboration, more applications, more partnerships, is really just an accelerated pace at which stuff is going to get rolled out. AI, I can confidently say we are at the forefront of what people are doing with enterprise AI, and we are going to stay there.
You spent, lastly, sweetheart, you spent a good amount of time at Google. You really touched a lot of parts of their organization, 15 years as a software engineer, among many other things you did there. What did you learn from there that you are applying here right off the get-go at Snowflake?
Never take success for granted. I ran the ads team, possibly the most successful team in business ever. But never on any day did we say okay, job done. There was always that sense of urgency. The world was changing, whether it was, other competitors in ads or ecosystem changes how cookies disappeared, or how mobile came to be. Mobile was an existential threat for Google because we just didn't make as much money on mobile compared to desktop. We got through all of that because of that sense of urgency, the need to seize opportunity. I would say that is easily from day one my thing that I stress with Snowflake, which is we are a wonderful, successful company, but we really have to keep innovating for us to stay successful. That resonates. People want that. People have that hunger to do more. And honestly, even a month in, I can feel the change in how the team thinks about these things and the pace with which we are launching things.
Well, we are looking forward here. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of this, we're going to have to wait and see what exactly happens.
Well, but one thing is, I think he's afraid that they're not considered an AI play, because you saw the Databricks CEO basically say Snowflake has never been an AI, right? So I think he kept reiterating, no, we are an AI play, which he has to do, right?
Well, I think what it is under the former leadership, they were an AI player, but they were very more on the fringes, the outer fringes, where it's look, you're going to be able to take other, like you said, the other models and just layer it on top of the data that's already in the warehouse, right? So you're not really focusing on creating AI specific products. This guy is no, we're going to build things out so that this way we get as many people not only using our data warehouse products, but then all these other things that are going to be on top of it. I think the biggest thing is this guy, he knows what he's doing. I'm going to give him time. I think Snowflake has a bright future ahead of it. I think they're in good hands.
It's sold off, and I think it's going to go back to 250 eventually. I think it's sold off. It was at 237 2 months ago. So I don't think they're at a point where the company is going to fall to shit and then just collapse. I just don't see that happening. Snowflake's just too valuable. The question I have is, are they the AI play that 10Xs over the next decade? Which I don't know. I guess we'll see.
And that's something that we're going to have to see, man. But
and that's something you don't even need it for your options. You don't need it. You need it to go up 250, whatever, and it should be fine. Christian says it's just a database, specifically a data warehouse. I don't see why he's railing so hard about how this is somehow related to AI. MongoDB, Databricks have more relevance than AI. I think you're right, Christian, that other companies do have more relevance on AI. I think this LLM is a way for them to continue their relevance when it comes to AI.
Mm-hmm.
And because they have all those customers, if that distribution works to build Arctic into the enterprise, then maybe they do become a bigger player when it comes to AI.
Yep.
SoFi. What do you think on Monday happens with SoFi?
I have no idea. But you saw that there was a regional bank that went under this
Yeah,
week.
can you talk about that? What's going on with this? It's a Philadelphia bank.
Yeah, I don't really know much of the story, but I know that the FDIC pretty much took it over, but they already had someone on the wings to buy them. Fulton Financial.
Yeah.
So it's not like a contagion thing where this was like completely unexpected. And, it's definitely not the SVB and the FRCs of the world where all of this was just a sudden shock. And then you saw the stock just absolutely tank. So that was not necessarily the case. These guys were in a completely different environment. So they probably have a lot of AOCI losses on their books. I didn't do any deep dives into their numbers because at this point they're already dead. What's the point? So Fulton took them over and probably going to do the same thing that JP Morgan might do, which is just integrate them and liquidate some of their key assets and, sell them for spare parts basically. So we'll see.
I was looking at the price to books of banks. They historically hover right around 1, correct?
Yeah.
So SoFi's price to book is 1.5. Could you make the argument that without the B2B side, fintech side of the business, that SoFi is fairly valued right now?
What do you mean? Like, say that one more time?
So SoFi's price to book is similar to JP Morgan's price to book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean SoFi is technically fairly valued?
I think it means it's overvalued because most of the banks right now are on the opposite end of that. They're actually trading below book.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Look around in the banking sector
Truist
right now
is
because
below
of
book.
Yeah, there's a lot of banks that are trading below book. Why? Mainly because they have a crap ton of risk on their balance sheet right now.
So let me ask this question. If SoFi grows quicker, 40% versus JP Morgan at like 8%, does that justify it having a higher price to book or no?
I mean, to some degree, if you believe that they are a technology player, then yeah, they deserve a higher multiple because they're not just a bank. They're also a technology company. So that would let you get a higher valuation. But I'm sorry, I just don't see the value in these guys. They have a lot of personal loans on the balance sheet right now. Unsecured debt has been trending much higher with delinquencies. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully the loans that SoFi has, they're lent, from what I can tell, they actually do a pretty good job of not lending to subprime borrowers. And they have like pretty good lending standards. But if their delinquency numbers go up, then that could be a problem for SoFi. But the one thing I will say is that I don't see necessarily the moat in this company because what can SoFi do that I can't do with JP Morgan or I can't do with TD Bank or it's like
this is what I was talking to Steve about this. Steve says the only reason he likes SoFi is because of Galileo and Technesis. If those weren't, which is the B2B fintech side, if that's not there, then it's a little hard to get excited about it. Which I'm agreeing, dude. I'm not leaving Bank of America for SoFi. Like I'm just like I'm just not doing it, and like I don't see the need to do it. And even if SoFi is growing the lending and deposits business very quickly, I don't know if that justifies a higher price to book either, because it's still at the end of the day going to be valued at a bank. So the B2B side has to really bring in the SaaS multiples. And the question is if on Monday they can do that.
Yeah.
Okay. What else do we got? Do we talk about commercial real estate now? Do we finally do that discussion?
I think we should. Commercial real estate, in my opinion, depending on which region you're looking at and the quality of assets that you're looking at, they can vary pretty significantly, right? So, there are REITs out there right now that are commercial office REITs. They have really old buildings. I'm talking about Class C buildings. These are buildings that were built in the 1950s that don't even have, internet lines running through the buildings. So these are the old school, like you had to physically go into the place. They were just like, it's like the office, right? In Scranton, Pennsylvania, right? Assets like that are not valued as highly right now. So there is a large amount of office space that's like that. It's old. It doesn't fit the needs of the modern enterprise people. And even when it comes to like workers, if you're trying to hire some really good talent, you need to have a workspace that's a lot more collaborative, that's easier to work under, easier to work in a tier 1 city, right? If you're trying to convince people to come back to the office and you're trying to hire the best, so you need to have a lot of these amenities built into your buildings. So I think what happens is people look at commercial real estate and they kind of try to paint everything with the same brush and say, oh, look, commercial real estate, there's a problem. But if you look at like even just recent reports, give me 1 second. Like this just came out not too long ago from the New York Post, right? Right here. So, man, these damn ads are like 3 times the size of the screen.
You got to get some new shoes, dude.
Yeah. A class above New York's trophy assets are running out of space. So when it comes to like office space like this, like high quality office space, the leasing rates on these buildings is actually very high, and the amount of money that they're able to charge is starting to go up again. So if you're looking at a company like SL Green, who primarily only has New York City assets that are, a lot of it leans heavily towards trophy assets, then what you're going to see is that the company is actually going to do pretty okay. Like the valuation on a lot of those buildings is pretty good. They're going to be able to be fine. The problem is if you try to find a REIT that's on the opposite end of that, then you got a problem, right? So if you look at a building that literally recently SL Green just built up, it's called Madison 1. They just got a whole bunch of clients. Hold on. Where's the One Madison? 1 second.
Madison Beer? That's my girl, dude. I'm gonna marry her one day.
SL Green.
I'm gonna marry her one day, dude.
Okay. Madison Beer. I don't know who that is, man.
She's a singer, dude. She's so cute.
This is okay. So this is still the construction. This is from a year ago. But they also have One Vanderbilt, which is like one of the newest skyscrapers in New York City. This thing commands such high rents, and it's friggin' beautiful building. But I wish I could show you 1 second. One Madison, what the building looks like. Okay, there it goes.
I've been in this building before.
No, you can't. They just literally recently opened up, so there's no way.
That's like your friend who's like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. And like they know.
So this is a building in New York City. It's called One Madison. It was built up from the ground, and you can see one of the things about it is that they are. Oh, there you go. 1 second. This is in like the heart of New York City, and it's in one of the most desirable places in the city. Damn it, man. All right, well, whatever. I can't find the video that they had up for this one. But if you look at the office leasing on this one, companies like Palo Alto just moved in there. Coinbase moved in here. IBM has a huge lease with them. So they're not having any trouble whatsoever leasing buildings like this out. But the other thing,
the elephant in the room is commercial real estate coming, are the chickens coming home to roost on the debt that exists?
So yes and no. Some debt, which is like CMBS debt, was financed during better times in buildings at much higher valuations. So if your building can't get refinanced, then yes, it becomes a problem for you. But the only buildings that aren't getting refinanced right now are buildings that are, like I said, old and crappy buildings. The newer ones are doing okay. Like SL Green recently just was able to refinance a whole bunch of their buildings.
Yeah.
Not too long ago. And so even among REITs, they have a lot of optionality when it comes to their portfolio of assets as well. So imagine this, you have 10 commercial buildings, right? One of them has 100% lease occupied for the next 10 years. And then you have this one other building on the opposite spectrum that's literally like 50% occupied right now, that's barely generating positive cash flow, and more money is leaving every month in paying the note on that building, and it's up for renewal, right? Which basically the maturity has come. What do? Well, the good thing is most of these things, depending on the company, are non-recourse loans. Do you know what non-recourse loans, how that works?
No.
Okay. So imagine right now you have 10 buildings. The thing is, when you get those 10 buildings, you can be like, I will be the guarantor as the company for all 10 buildings, right?
Right.
Or you could do something called a non-recourse loan and have each individual building have its own mortgage, right? And the thing is, because it's non-recourse, that means that if you do not pay the mortgage, all the bank can do is take the asset back. They can't come after your other assets and say, no, this one you failed to pay, which means that now you owe us money. No, it's, hey, this is the asset, you take it back. So this is where a lot of times the REITs, they have the ability to just hand the keys back to the lender, the bank, and say, here you go, enjoy, take it. It's not my problem anymore. You know what I mean? So it will affect their equity, but what happens is their cash flows will actually maintain and be higher, because what ends up happening is you're not burning cash flow on a building that's not generating money. So a lot of REITs right now, what they're doing is they're high classing their portfolio, which they're letting the ones that are weak, that are not making money, default, get off the balance sheet, while the other ones that are cash flowing, that are doing well, they're holding on to them and waiting for the next wave of what is that thing called? Shortages in commercial real estate, because eventually that's what's going to happen. The other thing is, if you look at some commercial buildings, they even have the ability to be converted into residential, especially in New York City. You know, the cost of rent right now is freaking astronomical. The thing is, not every building has the ability to be converted into residential too. So, you know, the unit economics have to make sense. The thing is, before, the commercial rents were so high, it didn't make any sense to convert it to resi, even if resi was generating a crap ton in cash flow. Now, if you have a 50-year-old, 60-year-old building, right, and basically it's only 50% occupied because there isn't as much demand, well, you can buy that building for, let's say, half off, throw $100 million in there, convert it to residential, and then sell the building rent it out, like rent the individual units out.
So broadly, you think commercial real estate people are saying it could trigger the next recession. It's unlikely it gets that bad because offices are coming back, essentially.
I think offices are coming back. There are definitely pockets of weakness that you have to make sure that you avoid. There are definitely REITs out there that don't have as much flexibility, and they don't have the greatest assets either. So this is where you have to be very, very good with due diligence, and you really have to go into the company's financials. You have to go into like, what kind of buildings do they have? You know, the management's ability to get financing, because a lot of times it really comes down to getting lenders to trust you enough to give you money. Some organizations have the ability to basically, because of their size, go to the bank and says, hey, listen, I didn't default, and I'm not gonna quote unquote, I'm not gonna pay you, but you're not gonna call a default either. Because if you call a default, I will hand you back your keys, and now you have to sell that building at half off and recognize that loss. You know what I mean? So banks right now, the last thing they want to do is report, hey, listen, our balance sheet just took a $300 million hit because we lent money on a commercial real estate on a building, and it got marked down by half, right? So right now, a lot of banks that have commercial real estate exposure, if you do mark to market, it could trigger some problems. But the good thing is you don't have to do mark to market. You can keep it where it is. So a lot of banks, what they're doing is something called pretending and extending. So basically, they just tell the guy, like, listen, we will extend your current low mortgage further out. So even if that means that they're losing on opportunity cost, they're not going to be losing on marking that asset down. And so the REIT can actually hold on to the building for longer. So as an example, let's say right now your mortgage was up, right? And you have to get a refinancing deal done. So if you go outside, it might cost you between 8 and 10% per year to get that loan, to get that deal done. Now, 8 to 10% is crazy, especially if you compare that they were able to make this loan, let's say 5 years ago, for only 2%, probably not 2, probably like 3 to 4%, right? So if they're able to do 4, what ends up happening is that just doubled your interest payments if you were to get that new financing. So instead, you go to the bank and said, listen, if you raise it to 10, I'll hand you back the keys. But if you keep it at 4 for another 2 years, I'll keep paying you that 4%. So the bank will say to itself, you know what? At least I'm getting something. Yes, I may not be getting 8% on that money, but it also means I'm not getting handed the keys back and having to mark down the entire asset by half or even more. And they don't want to deal with the hassle of that. And the minute they sell it, whatever the price that they sell it, they have to record that as a loss, because if you lent out 500 and you were able to sell it for 250, that means now you just took a $250 million loss that's going to be on your balance sheet, you know? So like I said, the banks, they don't want to take these buildings back. So
Right.
a lot of the REITs have the ability to kind of wiggle a little bit. So it's kind of like a underground secret. So there's a lot of pretending and extending going on in the background.
So SLG is kind of the way to play it from a stock perspective.
Well, I mean, there's not just SLG. There's some other ones that are really good too, that have like diversified portfolios. So not only do they have commercial office, but they also have residential office. I mean, not residential office, sorry, residential. Some of them have other parts of the real estate market also. So like I said, you have to be very specific with which REIT you're going with. And there is actually opportunity in preferred equity in some of these REITs also, because the preferred equity has been marked down so much that they actually make sense. So if you look at the capital structure of a building, you know, not just a building, but like any company, it usually starts off at the top with first lien secured debt, right? That means that whatever assets there are, the physical assets, the loan is secured by those physical assets. That's a first lien. They get super priority. If you go into bankruptcy, those guys are probably going to get made whole, right? They're literally at the top in the pecking order of how it cascades down. After that, usually you have unsecured holders of bond holders. And then below that is equity, like a preferred equity. And then all the way at the bottom is common equity. So if you understand how that, and let me show you the pyramid, how that works.
This is the stuff you can only access on like certain brokerages as well, right?
No, this is where you have to go to their corporate filings to figure that out. So let me just share right here. So if you ever look at the market cap of a company, what ends up happening is the first thing is just the senior secured bonds that are in the company. Then you have senior unsecured bonds. Then you have convertible and subordinated debt. Then after that, it's preferred stock. And then you have common. All of these things actually are way more secure than common. Most of the time when you're, not most, but whenever you're buying the stock of a company, you're buying this portion right here, right? Which is good because you're essentially taking on the most risk, but you're also getting the most reward. Sometimes the equation kind of flips a little bit, and what you'll have is these things selling at a huge discount. And when these things are selling at a huge discount, you can actually buy them very cheaply. And what's awesome about it is that there are provisions in that asset that that makes you get paid, basically, because usually they come with certain rights, like getting priority when it comes to dividends and distributions, and you have like guaranteed income, which can be generated from these parts. So this is all of this is debt. This is equity, pretty much. So if you know what you're doing, you can actually buy into that capital structure at a safer level. So when a recovery does happen, usually the preferred equity will recover first, or the debt will recover first. And then after that, you'll have recoveries in the equity. So right now is a great time to find those preferred equity positions and load up on them and just basically get paid to wait, you know.
Interesting stuff. So when are you buying Tesla?
You know, it's gonna be a while, man. It's gonna be a while.
It's like, all right, preferred equity, commercial real estate, regional banks, which have all done. You know, what's crazy, dude. You were talking about this shit on Finance Junkies, like basically April 2023, because that's right after SVB collapsed. That's when SLG also was at like $19-20. And they played out. The thesis has played out really well on regionals and on commercial real estate.
I try telling these guys, man, it's just You know what it is? I think a lot of times people they feel a little bit uncomfortable with older kind of traditional things, and they want to kind of like invest in the high growth, high risk stuff because that just seems more sexier. Like, who would have thought you go up like, hey man, I have a great deal, I have a great thesis on a regional bank. No one gives a shit about a regional bank. I mean, Vitali's disdain for regional banks the entire time I was trying to talk about it, like it's just one of those things. And I'm just like, look, man, this is an undervalued asset. You really should take a look at, especially when it comes to the options. It just makes no sense at this
I was
price.
excited because we sat down for
Yeah.
2 hours on a Friday night. I remember May 2023, and it was the first time I ever looked into a company that wasn't the Palantirs, the Teslas of the world, and just
Yeah.
like looked at raw numbers, looked at like like real just like shit that it's like, why did this sell off? Okay, here's this qualitative narrative, regional banks collapsing, and then what's the actual numbers on the bank? And
Yeah.
I was like, this is like, that intrigued me, and as you're saying, some
Yeah.
people are intrigued, some people are not.
Yeah. For me, it's all about like, where can I find value where others don't see it? And if there's value there, you should be able to, be a little bit, you should, I think what it is you have to fundamentally understand the math behind it sometimes, because that's what value really is, understanding the math. It's not necessarily understanding the qualitative, it's more understanding the quantitative return that you could generate from that, and then applying different strategies to that mix so that you get the maximum amount of return. So like an example, I made over 200 grand in Verizon. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's a dino cap, it's a who gives a shit about Verizon, right? But the options on Verizon, because it's a low beta stock when it was trading in October, were just amazing. It made absolute crazy sense that we weren't in this thing. And so I loaded up heavy on them and I did exceptionally well. That's just sometimes how things work out, man.
Let me ask you this question. Do you still expect a credit event which would cause a horrific recession, or what do you think?
Look, you never know with these things. A lot of times there are risks out there that are just unpredictable. They're just not predictable at all. So
I think the credit event, I know everyone keeps sharing the chart that credit card debt is going up, which is concerning. I don't know if that necessarily is a one-to-one signal with a credit event happening. What I'm more concerned about is what's going on with Japan. If you're reading some of the stuff in terms of what's happening with the Bank of Japan and historically what happens after they do their first rate cut, 18 months later, there tends to be some instability. But yeah, I don't know. I guess a credit event is going to be very, very, if it happens, it'll happen. And the bears will be right. But screaming that it's going to happen is not the easiest way to make it happen.
The way that I always try to think about these things is, if the cat is already out the bag, the risks are actually a lot lower, because what happens is there's ample enough time to prepare.
Right.
So a lot of these regional banks, they had enough time to prepare for a lot of what's coming on because of SVB and FRC. They collapsed. So automatically they went into defensive mode. Like TFC, because it had this huge insurance business that they were able to liquidate and get a whole bunch of cash right now, they're not going to have a liquidity event.
No.
Even if they do have some charge-offs, it's like, whatever. We have enough capital on the side that can be okay. On the other hand, there are regional banks right now that don't have solid assets that could cost them a lot. But I think what it is everyone is prepared right now. I'm sure that there are a few regional banks that are just so hopelessly beyond the realm of dealing with this stuff. But majority that I know, especially in the banking side, they're already good to go. There's no contagion risk anymore. The contagion risk was there during the months of like April, May of last year, because what happened was everything when it comes to credit it's based on confidence. The minute that you lose confidence is the minute that you die, because that means that now you might have a bank run come at you, where basically people are trying to withdraw money that you already lent out. No bank has enough cash to support every single deposit that they have. It's just not how banking works, So it's all about, like I said, it's all about.
I think we're gonna have a good year. I think 2025 we're fucked, but we're gonna have a good year this year.
I don't think so. I really, I want to think that that we might get a recession, because sometimes recessions are actually healthy in that they shake out a lot of stupid companies. Like think about all these SPACs, you know, that I think they're starting to run out of financing now. A lot of them are going under. Like how many of the SPACs that Palantir invested in, how many of them are still alive?
Oh, they're all gone, dude. All of them. All of them.
All of them? Not
Dude,
a single one is still alive?
I mean, they're alive, but either Palantir divested or they're down the drain. Like, there's
Really?
not a lot. Yeah, the Black Sky's still around, Lilium, but Palantir basically liquidated out of pretty much everything except like 3 companies, and those 3 aren't any good. Like, we made no money off the SPACs. I think we're up like 10% on them, maybe. But look, here's why 2025, 2026, 2027 we don't get fucked. If what's his name, Dan Ives is right, that this really is this industrial revolution, right? We really do have 3 to 4 years of this thing to play out, and AI and the growth from that is enough to overcome any of some of the macro-driven events. I just don't know, given the COVID stuff that happened and the money we printed and the interest rates that rose as quick as they did, if we get away that quickly with a soft landing, right?
My biggest fear, to be honest with you, is centered around, believe it or not, housing. You know, I told you my thesis, right?
Yeah.
What tends to happen is, you know, the way that a recession hurts businesses is actually, if you think about it, very simple. When you have a recession, basically what you have is this expectation that the future is not going to be better than today. Because if the future is bad, that means that you kind of want to take away from investing in tomorrow and instead take your money and pull it out the market, right? So if you think about what causes recessions, you need to have this trigger that basically makes people lose confidence. So like the great financial crisis, subprime loans, that caused a giant drop in confidence. When that happened, then what happened was a huge cascade of events that followed. So as an example, if you think about a recession, what happens is if your expectations of growth are not there, you cut back on spending. So the way that the economy works is actually, I'll simplify it down. Let's say right now there's 4 of us. There's 4 people. There's me, you, Vitaly, Carlos, right? I buy $1 worth of goods from you. You buy $1 goods from Vitaly. Vitaly buys one good or services from Carlos, and Carlos buys it from me. So it's a nice, healthy circle, $1, right? Now, if I think next year is going to be a good year, what I'm going to do to you, I'm going to say, hey, let me buy $2 of this good and service so that this way I can build my business up, right? You now get $2. You spend, because you just got more money, you spend more money with Vitaly. Vitaly spends more money with Carlos, and Carlos spends more money with me. And guess what happened? Everyone's economy is now a $2 economy. Everyone's happy. But let's say my expectation is, hey, I think the next year, things are going to be bad. So what do? I don't buy $2 worth of goods from you. I only buy $1 good from you. Yeah. Now you say, hey, wait a second. This guy, you know, was buying $2 from me last time. I need to stop producing my thing or my good or service that's $2 and only spend half. So I'm going to lay off half of my employees. Now you only pay that employee that, you know, like let's say Vitaly or whatever, $1. And now $1 goes to $1, one goes to me to $1 again. This is where the government usually has to step in and then say like, hey, Kris, I know that you're only spending $1, but here's $1 more and we'll give it to you. And then you can use that money to buy from Amit. So the government tends to step in. If you go to like the New Deal, that's what happened. We were in the Great Depression. So what did FDR do? FDR started spending money on building America, basically getting people to work. More people working means more economy. Everything starts getting developed, right? So right now, the government did something really stupid, which is after COVID, when COVID was beat, they kind of overstimulated, where they kind of like pushed more money into the market. They shouldn't have done that, but they did it. And now we have inflation. So now we're in a point where right now we might end up going into stagflation, which is really bad, which means that inflation is getting higher. But at the same time, business outlook is deteriorating, which means that we might not get GDP growth, you know, which means that our economy is not growing. So we're in a very weird.
What do you think of what
situation.
Rango said here? Can you check off the charge-offs on big banks' earnings and tell me why I should not be worried? Jamie Dimon selling a lot does not help.
I don't know. I haven't been looking at the big banks nearly as much, but I can tell you their tier 1 ratios are fine. And I'm sure that there are charge-offs here and there, but they're fine. Like because of a lot of the regulatory changes, they have a lot more capital cushions than anyone else. So you don't have to worry about the big banks.
How likely do you think stagflation is? Like,
I don't know, man.
Because I don't think it's that likely. I think inflation. It depends on inflation not coming down, and I think we all believe the motherfucker's going to come down by the end of the year. And if it doesn't, dude, if inflation's still at 3% by the end of the year, we're not even in the 2s yet.
I don't think that's possible. I'm already seeing signs of inflation kind of cooling a little bit. It's just a lot of the stuff that's cooling comes with a big lag. So the one thing that we are seeing is this freaking weird thing where you're seeing inflation rise and fall. But it's trending down. The overall trend is still going down. And the reason for that is because there are elements of the inflation cycle, well, not inflation cycle, but of certain things that cause these spikes. So as an example, oil prices. Oil goes up, everything else goes up in value. Why? Because our entire economy is based on goods, transportation, services, but everything is carbon, right? So if you're transporting products from point A to point B and gas prices go up, freight costs go higher. If freight costs go higher, all of those costs are now passed down to the consumer. So you're going to feel them. So, there's plastics. Plastics are raw materials. So our entire economy is, believe it or not, oil and petroleum based. So you kind of have to remember, as oil prices go up, you got problems. That means that the rest of inflation is going to carry forward also. So you need price stability with oil staying at a marginal rate that's neutral, so that this way inflation is not a problem. The biggest challenge right now is that the Middle East, they're cutting, or at least they're keeping their production at a lid so that the price of oil stays higher. I mean, Biden would just love it if oil dropped down to $60, $70 a barrel, because that means that everything else. Yeah. The problem is there's no way he can do that. All the SPR is already drained. There's not that much left in the SPR, and they've been doing some refilling, but I think they might have actually stopped that now. U.S. production is going up, but the rest of the world's production is kind of like frozen because of OPEC. So OPEC wants to get as much money as possible because that's how they run their economies, with oil prices. So the other thing is the way that oil sometimes trades, it trades on sentiment, saying, oh, what if tomorrow Iran and Israel go to war? That means that one of the biggest producers of oil in the Middle East, their production is going to get curtailed, which means the price of oil is going to go higher. So a lot of these guys, they'll speculate and they'll buy futures contracts and basically get the price of oil to rise up. And if the price of oil goes up, now you got knock-on effects. The rest of the economy.
Why don't you trade oil futures?
Because it's too volatile. It's not based
Isn't that where they can make a lot of money?
No, fuck that. Nah, man, I'm trying to sleep at night.
Dude, I want to buy some oil futures.
No, dude. I mean, you can if you want to.
What's a good oil future? Can we buy them on Robinhood?
You can't buy oil futures on Robinhood. You can buy an ETF that has oil futures.
Dude, I just realized how I can buy gold. GLD.
Okay.
I didn't know that was a thing. SPDR Gold Trust. This thing has all the gold. It has 62 billion under management. It has all the gold. This is a spot price ETF for gold.
They don't actually own $62 billion in gold.
I know. It's just the money they have. But I was like, oh, if I ever want to check the price of gold, I don't have to go to like these weird websites. I can go.
What's interesting is look at the expense ratio on that.
0.4%. That's a lot, right?
But what work are they doing? That's what I want to know. What work are they doing? Please tell me. There's no work. It's just they're collecting a 4% fucking expense ratio for doing what?
What's ARK's expense ratio? I want to see this.
I think it's like 0.7 because it's actively managed.
So if you actively 0.75. So hold on. Expense ratio means for every dollar, how much she gets what from my dollar? that I put in with the expense ratio?
70, no, not 7 cents. So let's do $100 because it's
Okay.
easier to explain that. So for every $100, she gets
7.5 cents.
7 cents. So you get 7 cents. Not 7 cents. Sorry, that's 7%. For every $100, yes, for every $100, she gets 7 cents. There you go.
So if I've invested $100 into ARK, technically I've invested $99.93.
Correct, because she's collecting she's collecting that 7 cents. But remember, the bigger the ETF, because if she manages $1 billion, right, and you take 0.7% of that, that's what she's going to get. That's what she'll get.
She has $6 billion under management. She gets 0.75% of that, basically 1% of that $6 billion, which is, if I'm not wrong, $60 million to manage it. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Kris, would you ever open up an ETF?
I mean, yes, I would. What about you? Would you open an ETF?
Well, let's just talk about you right now. If you opened up an ETF, what would be your investing style? If you had Cathie Wood's $6 billion, let's take it like that. Construct for me a philosophy and a set of 5 to 10 equities that would allow you to manage $6 billion.
Well, first, I think that majority of it would just be the S&P 500. The reason why is because everyone benchmarks against the S&P 500. So why not just be 75% in the S&P 500?
Okay, so your argument is that if you had $6 billion like Cathie, 75% of it would go to the S&P. Your argument is that's for safety. However, what if your clients are like, why the fuck are we paying you money if you're just going to invest in the S&P?
Because the other 25% are going to be the really great opportunistic plays that yield huge amounts of returns, which means on a blended basis, your returns will actually beat the S&P 500. So it's all about being opportunistic. And if you wanted to, you could layer it on, especially if you do a prospectus that sometimes you can draw down on the S&P 500 portion and let that go to 50% and turn the other 50% into more individual equities. But basically, for the most part, 75% of the portfolio would be an S&P 500, which is good because that would take
real quick before you finish. Put that in the chat.
Yeah.
Would you guys think that's a smart strategy, just in general, an ETF that manages a lot of money, 50% S&P, 50% equities? Go ahead.
Yeah, the way that I would best describe it is like this: most people's portfolios right now, the ones that really do well, 75% of it is probably going to be an S&P like a low expense ratio S&P 500 index.
Yeah.
And the other 25%, you can do speculative bets where basically these things, you have the ability to 10x in a short period of time, right? The thing is, it's all about figuring out a concentration that works, that gets you a good amount of return that can actually beat the S&P 500. I failed to see how a lot of these guys, they underperform the S&P 500, but that's primarily because they're managing so much money and they're always trying to be in all these companies at the same time and kind of deal with them. No, like I'd rather have 75% of it in the S&P 500 and then another 5 really, really strong companies that are going to yield the shit out of you, and basically they are the greatest opportunities in the market right now. So now people are actually going to feel comfortable putting a substantial more amount of money in that ETF than a one that's 100% speculative. They try to pick their own equities.
Yeah, because if you have 100 grand and you're going to invest in an ETF, you could either put in the S&P, but then you're probably going to get 8 to 12%, or you could take a risk. But if you take an ARK type of risk, you could get screwed, right?
So if you back tested right now with Cathie, right? Let's say instead of having ARK funds all in these speculative names, she had 75% of it was in S&P 500. You wouldn't have seen this giant drawdown. Yes, she would have underperformed the rest of the indices, but that also means her clients wouldn't have lost so much money either.
No.
So
it's not a horrible idea because basically 50% or 25% is that 25% has to be really good bets. And those really good bets can help the ETF overperform.
Especially if they're able to 5x, 10x, whatever.
Right.
That's the key. Like right now, if let's say you bought a whole bunch of Palantir when it was like $10, if you think about it, if it 2x's on you, that means that that 25% that you have, let's say if you just had Palantir, the rest of it was your S&P 500, you're sitting on gains from the S&P 500, but they're also going to be juiced up like crazy because you have a doubling of that $25 position, which now just turned into a 50%, like a huge gain.
Right.
The thing is, let's say that position underperforms, you're fine because the S&P 500 is still providing you a decent return. So why try to beat the S&P 500 to the degree that some people are trying? Just keep 75% of it in that, and the other 25% layer it on to really strong companies that you can actively manage, actively do stuff in.
Okay, so what if the S&P 500 takes a shit and you are a portfolio manager that's trying to like maybe position to value versus growth, or just find the pocket? Like in 2022, how would you have managed capital in 2022 if you had a couple billion?
So in 2022, like you mean like
in January when
it
the
was
S&P was
crashing?
falling from 478 to 340, would you have just been along for the ride as you go down if you were 75% S&P, or would you take that money out of the S&P and like find
The other 25% would have been in puts. So that's why you're just chilling. I mean, you're asking me right? So now I'm covered, right?
I mean, yeah, it's true. To be
I mean,
honest,
you're asking me in hindsight, so it's very easy for me to give you that answer.
That's
Oh,
actually a good point.
75% of your portfolio is going now. Okay, fucking buy some fucking puts. Call it a day. There you go.
Dude, it took some guts in 2022, in the beginning of 2022, when we just came off of 2021, to say shit's hitting the fan. But for those that did, like meet Kevin, he sold in January, and it was so smart. It was so smart, but then he got back in March, right? If he had just actually stayed out the rest of the year, he would have been like, he called the fucking crash. But then he got back in, which was the problem, because then he went down with everybody else. But it's hard to call it when it's bad.
Well, the key here is that no one is going to fault you for losing money, especially if the entire market is down.
Correct.
But they will fault you if the market is going up and you're fucking still going down. Like ARK right now, the market is up and ARK is down. That is a kick in the fucking teeth of most people.
Yeah.
If the market, all of it is getting like, if the market shits the bed, people will be like, yeah, I get it. The fucking market collapsed. The S&P 500 is down. I'm going to benchmark against the S&P, right? So it doesn't hurt as much. There is no sting. But if you fucking had the entire market go up 50% and you were down 50%, bro, I don't even know how you could explain that to your people, man.
That's why I think 2024 is going to be good, because in 2022, I remember seeing Facebook go from 300 to 210 in one day, like it just collapsing. It doesn't seem like any of those numbers we saw back in 2022 are prevalent, at least in the earnings so far in this year. And yeah, the inflation narrative is the inflation narrative, but companies themselves are doing so damn good, dude. Like they're just doing incredible.
I mean, to be honest with you, most of it's being led by the S&P, by the Mag 7 and Mag 6 and Mag whatever. But that's the beauty of the S&P 500, where the way that the whole system is set up is that the strongest companies, they go to the top, and basically that's what the index is. You have the top companies in the United States, the top 500 companies in the United States. There's no guesswork there. So, yeah.
I think we can end it off there. I'll probably do this like every Saturday, guys, and if Kris is free, he can join every Saturday or whatever. But yeah.
So do you want to tell people anything, or do you think?
No, let's hold off on that. Let's hold off.
Okay.
We'll hold off. Me and Kris have a little announcement, but we'll announce it later in the year. Now is not the exact time to announce. How are you thinking about AI for the long term?
I think
it better fucking make us some money, dude.
So AI, in my opinion, is going to be like any other fad. It's going to come, it's going to go, and then it's going to come back, and there's going to be a shit ton of value. So it's almost like every single other bubble that comes to mind. And I know that sounds stupid. Like, what are you talking about? AI is the future. Yes, AI is the future. I totally agree with you. But it doesn't mean that the future is going to not going to have its bumps along the way. Everyone knew during the dot-com bubble, before the dot-com, the internet was going to be a big thing. Everyone said that. So what happened? People threw money at every single company, diapers.com and, all these garbage companies, because everyone's like, oh, the internet's the future, which is absolutely correct. But then you had the dot-com bubble and that burst, and what happened? Everything went to shit. And then the strongest companies, they survived and they thrived. Everything consolidates. And then you actually had a giant internet revolution. So in theory, everyone in 1999 was absolutely right. The internet was the future, but not everyone is going to be part of that future. So
you,
right
you
now,
actually think AI is going to have the dot-com moment in the next couple of years?
It might.
Because I don't see a ton of AI companies that are like overhyped outside of like the SoundHounds of the world. But like the rest of them, I don't know. Does Dell or Micron or SMCI deserve what they're getting? Maybe.
That's the point. Right now, a lot of
right now it makes sense, but
right now they make sense because everyone is expanding their capex like there's no tomorrow. So there's actually business there. But a lot of this stuff is like knock-on effects that come by, right? So like let's say right now Facebook says, "Hey man, you know what? We're going to cut back on capex for AI spend." Now Nvidia takes a crap, and Nvidia takes a crap. SMCI takes a crap because SMCI provides the servers that the Nvidia chips go on, right? And the valuation of SMCI is freaking absolutely fucking crazy when you consider that they're a low margin business, hardware business with no real moat. So, but that also the problem is, you can't bet against these companies either because during a trend or a hype cycle, you will absolutely get fucking destroyed if you try. Like, I mean, I'm not going to mention our friend, but we had a friend. You remember he was trying to short Nvidia?
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he was purely basing his opinions on what? On valuation. The problem is during a hype cycle, valuations, you can take that shit and throw it out the door because they will never make sense. And the thing is, you have to hold on to that position until your thesis comes true. And the thing is, you don't know when that is going to be, and your entire account could get blown up if you tried to do it. So it's just a life lesson that you learn.
Yeah, shorting Nvidia, dude, it seemed smart back then. I remember 280, 290. That's when people really started, but that's where the qualitative thesis just made more sense than the numbers. And the numbers made more sense.
Everything Money.
Dude, I think the main character of Everything Money, Paul, he got out of the short, but it was his brother's money. His brother's money was short. That's the other thing. Using family's money to short is like, because look, if you're using family's money to like just manage it a little bit, I understand it. But to go short on a company where there's unlimited loss, not even just like a premium you could lose, it's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Yep.
Go ahead.
You want to know that there's so many industries that are like that. EVs.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yep.
A year and a half ago, 2 years ago, Rivian was the market cap of Rivian. Was the market cap of Lucid. Remember?
Dude, that was crazy. That time in 2021.
Now you take a step back and you're like, what? Did we really fucking buy Lucid at 100 something? Like this company was not even making money. Fuck that. They weren't even making cars. They were valued at that. Then you had like, which one? The Hylian Motors, and then fucking Mullen, and all these.
Mullen was 2022. I remember, dude, people built entire YouTube brands off of Mullen. Like I did it with Palantir. They did it with fucking Mullen, and I was just like, why?
It's freaking crazy. So when the hype cycle comes, short at your, and the funny thing is, those were the perfect companies to short. You know what I mean? But the problem is, you couldn't do it because the fucking monkeys, the apes, would destroy you. They found out that you have a short position. Oh God, that's it. It was over.
Dude, fucking whenever I post about Robinhood on Twitter, there's still these AMC accounts. The shit that they'll say, dude. I gotta show you some of this shit. It'll be the funniest shit, dude. It's just like, I'm gonna keep posting about Robinhood, but you guys can keep posting about AMC, and we'll see who does better. But this is hilarious.
We are all apes.
Look at this one. It's just too funny, dude. It's just too funny. It's just all these guys. How much is Vlad paying you to be the king of the hood shill? And then I go to the profile. Big fan of AMC movies and GME video. It's just like, all right, buddy. It's just funny. It's just funny.
Dude, people were paying. You remember fucking like when you take all this stuff in hindsight, it really makes you think how fucking stupid humans are.
Dude,
They were paying millions of dollars for pictures, gifts of monkeys.
Yeah.
It's just mind blowing. Right?
All of
Kinda
us too.
thinking.
All of us get caught up into it. All of us are dumb, right? Like hopefully we're
Yeah.
less dumb than some of the people that dedicated their life to fucking AMC and GameStop.
Bro,
and
you
NFTs.
learn that this is not the first bubble that you're gonna see, Amit. It's definitely not gonna be the last.
Yeah.
This is just how it is. It happened with the railroads and locomotives back in the 1920s. And then I think at some point there's so many bubbles, so many. And that's what happens when something new comes out. Everyone's like, oh my God, oh my God. And then all of a sudden, when that product doesn't work, boom, everyone gets freaking pictures of monkeys. Millions.
Dude, I
of
thought I
times.
was going crazy when I saw that happening. I was like, I just don't get it. Like OpenSea
Zoom?
raised 300 million at 13.3 billion.
Remember Zoom? Look at what happened to Zoom. It's just a teleconferencing software, but everyone was
$500.
hyped on Zoom. You know, and still to this day, our Kathy's like, no, it's gonna go to. I'm like, wait, what? Like,
Yeah.
which other companies? Which other companies were
Teladoc.
like hot? Teladoc, the future. Yep. Who's another? There's quite a few companies, especially in 2021, that the valuations were absolutely fucking crazy.
Matterport.
Yeah, Matterport was up there.
Lucid. I remember Kevin was buying Lucid at 18.90, but he was flipping it, so he made money off of it.
Yeah,
Rivian. It was insane, dude. I mean, even Tesla at 1.2 trillion in 2021, that was not justified. Like,
yeah,
like it was Palantir at 100 billion. Palantir was $100 billion company in January 2021. Like, what?
You go back and you ask yourself, what was the revenue Palantir at the time? Yeah. And it's worth $100 billion. Like
Fubo, yeah. People still think Fubo is going to be a big company. It's just
okay.
Like,
who is your biggest losers? Everyone here, pick your biggest losers on here. I have a few of my own biggest losers.
Mine was a biotech called Purple Biotech. That was my biggest loser. PPB.
Is it still alive?
It's still alive, but I sold it a while ago.
Mine is definitely Upsellera. I'm so hyped on Upsellera, but I'm still in it.
You own it, right? You still,
yeah, I still own it. It's still good. I think it's gonna do very well, but it's Upsellera, baby.
Dude, you heard about my sister, right? She has Neo shares that are down 95%, and she won't let me sell it.
Yeah,
she thinks it's going back to $60.
I'm down 70-something% on my Upsellera position. 70. Oh, Weejo was another one.
Dude, this one, I can't. It's not letting me share the screen, but DNA is under $1, bro.
Did I not save you from that one? I still remember the day I was like, do not fucking touch that synthetic bio bullshit. I said, look at the CEO. This motherfucker is selling. It's like $1.50 and he's still selling, you know?
Yeah, Ginkgo, dude. I was about to load up on Ginkgo, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't do that right now.
Yeah, Affirm. Yeah,
Affirm. Even though Max Levchin is a beast, and it went from 9 to 50 the end of 2023, so it had a good run.
Oh my God, Tattooed Chef and Smile Direct Club.
I had some Smile Direct Club. I remember. I think I had like 20 shares, 30 shares of that one.
So I actually went to Kroger and I bought some Tattooed Chef, and I was like, fuck this, not doing it. You know,
it just wasn't good.
Oatly fucking killed me too. I had Oatly. I thought the future of fucking milk was gonna be oats. And I look back now, I'm just like, so fucking dumb.
Everyone drinks regular fucking milk. Only fucking these like girls in Beverly Hills. Like, can I get it with oat milk? Just like,
no. The oat milk is a big thing. People drink a lot of oat milk, but the thing is, it's nothing that has a fucking moat. So if you take a step back, you can realize, bro, I can make oat milk at home. All I gotta do is just crush some freaking, like, you just go buy some oats, put it in some water, let it soak overnight, and then just drain the water. Boom, there you go. It's oat milk. It's not fucking super hard to make. You know, it's whatever. Wrecked by Beyond Meat, Tattooed Chef. Vegetable or low flavor.
Chamath SPACs lost my mind.
Oh God, Chamath.
That's why SoFi. I need them to have a good earnings because they just look. They're a company that hasn't progressed from the SPAC days. Every other company got out of that for the most part. that's like a reasonable company. SoFi's stuck in these single digits, dude. It's not good.
So basically, everyone remember, even seasoned investors like myself, we get caught up in the hype as well. Because the thing, Amit, when these things were going up, bro, this one doctor friend of mine, this guy would show me his portfolio, and he was just becoming filthier and filthier richer. And let me tell you, my greed centers were fucking going off. I was like, I gotta, like, this guy's doing really well. I gotta get into this. I even did the stupid thing. You know what I did? I got a fucking Motley Fool subscription. Do you fucking believe that shit? I paid for a Motley Fool subscription, and I followed some of these fucking Motley Fools, man.
Dude, anyone who pays for Motley Fool, I'm sorry if you're in the chat. You got to cancel that fucking subscription, dude. Like, if their article comes out saying top 5 stocks to buy now, do not click on that article. You just can't. You can't click on that article, dude. There's no way.
Yeah. Virgin, anyone's like Virgin Galactic.
No, I didn't get into that one.
See, the funny thing is with Motley Fool, they do have some gold nuggets in there as well. So don't think that they're completely garbage, but they do also have a lot of garbage in there.
Every week you can't recommend 5 new stocks. There's no way, dude. Like,
yeah,
you just have to force yourself to like come up with content at that point.
Yeah,
it becomes a bunch of dumb shit.
Mitch Freeman's like, I have 1 million shares of Lucid.
Oh, Mitch.
Luck and Coffee, I heard, is actually making a comeback. I don't know if you saw that. Luck and Coffee had like a whole bunch of fraud issues. But let me look at their stock price real quick.
Workhorse, remember that one?
Yeah.
You know, Benzinga, guys, is like a $300 million company. I didn't know that. Benzinga's like a pretty big media.
So did you see this? Luck and Coffee, they got caught like overstating their numbers, so that shit fell down to $2, and then that shit came back. It's almost like 21 something now.
What the fuck?
You know, another one is, bro, I'm telling you, another one is Carvana. Look at Carvana, right?
Oh yeah, that one did great. Yeah.
Look at Carvana, bro.
Holy shit, dude.
Carvana in 2023 was down to $8. I mean, look, the lowest it was $4 on it. $4 for fucking.
Why didn't we buy it? Why didn't you tell us about that?
Because it was a shitty company. I didn't know that it was gonna not be a shitty
Why
company.
did it go from 4 to 84, dude? That's a 20x in a year? Less than a year? No, about a year and a half.
Yeah, look at that. 84.
Holy
it's
shit,
$84 now. And it's a $17 billion company.
We need AI to find these opportunities, dude. I feel like that's where AI's best use case is when it comes to investing.
Yeah.
Now, I probably can't find these because it's very hard to find these.
I mean, they're still losing money. Look at this. They had 2.4 last quarter in revenue, and they lost 114 million. So,
but they're losing a lot less. That's the good thing.
Yeah, they're losing a lot less. The way to go. That's the way to go.
Isn't it crazy how the stock market's like, yeah, you're not profitable. Like Snapchat. The reason it's up 30% is because they lost like, I think, 50 million less than they did last year. And the market's like buying this shit up. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, WeWork never went public.
No, they did.
WeWork went public. Oh, you're right. You're right. WeWork was public. But no. So they didn't go public at the valuation that they
they didn't go public with that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So that makes sense. Rocket Lab. That's another.
Yo, why don't you like Rocket Lab? Your boy Matt Money loves Rocket Lab. Why don't you love it?
I don't know, man. I'm just not. It's not for me, man. There's certain industries that there's just too much to do research on, and it's too speculative for me to try to figure out what the value. So for me right now, it's almost like if you're going to go buy a house, right? Like let's say you're about to go buy a house. It's easier to figure out what the value of a house is going to be because there's other buildings around there that you can comp against.
The value is SpaceX. That's the comp.
No, but that's the thing. It's not even in the ballpark of the same thing.
Yes, it is. It's in the ballpark.
No, because there's so many unit economics that, and by the way, there's no public knowledge. There's no public data on what SpaceX is making right now.
Yeah, true.
So there's no way to figure that out. It's almost like, okay, there's a house in the middle of the forest. Go ahead, figure out what the value of that house is. Like, bro, I don't know. There's no fucking other houses around this goddamn thing. How do I know what the value is? The only time you can figure out a value is what the next guy is willing to pay for it. That's it. That's the value.
Matt's holding it for a long time. That's the other problem. It's like if we're not holding it for a long time, it's hard. Like it's not gonna 10x or even go up 30-40% immediately because it's space. It's a whole different industry. Now over 10 years, it might really do well, and Matt's like a fucking genius. But it's just going to take time. That's all.
Listen, to me, I don't want to sit in a company that's not making money yet. Like, I don't need to hit the absolute bottom. You know what I mean? I think so many people try to nail the absolute bottom. You don't need to do that. Like, imagine you bought Facebook at $20, or you waited a year and you bought it at $30 when you can see that they were more profitable and they were making more money. Just wait until they start making more money. They're profitable, and then just buy them. And now you can hold it for the next however many years, you know? So
yeah,
that's what it is. Whatever.
Rocket Lab also, I think they would just have to announce a really big deal that gets the street super excited and have a lot of successful rocket launches, which they will. It just, that stuff just takes some time. That's all, you know?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, with Rocket Lab and these things, I'm not saying you shouldn't invest in them, by the way. I'm just saying that don't make it such a large percentage of your portfolio, because from a risk management standpoint, it's almost like you're going out there and buying lottery tickets.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, sometimes a lottery ticket will work out and sometimes it won't. So I don't know. Yeah.
$4.99 AV, thank you for the super chat. SoFi over under 10 by Monday.
I don't know, man.
I think it's $9.74. I think that's. Give a price prediction, Kris, on Monday.
It's a bank. It's a bank.
Give a price prediction. What do you think?
$7. Fuck that.
Dude, if it's $5, $7, I'm gonna I'm just gonna sell all my options. I don't even care if it's fucking $7.
It'll be $7. It's
I'll
gonna be
I'll take a $100 loss and I'll get the fuck out. Like, I'm tired of this shit.
Watch it be $7. Watch, and then you'll be like, God damn it.
Dude,
but I know that
SoFi tanks on Monday. The amount of retail that's in SoFi, I don't think people are gonna handle it, right? Like, it's gonna be bad, dude, if SoFi tanks on Monday. Like, Palantir could tank and go back to 15, and we already had a taste of the good life, so we know one day we'll get back there. SoFi has never had a taste. It's never.
I closed out my puts on Palantir, by the way.
Yeah, I know. So you made like what,
Yeah.
$300 on it?
I made 300, but see, the funny thing is, had I closed them maybe literally 2 days before, I could have made like 1,200 because I was up pretty good on the positions. I wouldn't say the problem is, I'm not so sure. I think right now first of all, they were short dated puts, so that's not good. Yeah. Literally, they were for July. And the thing is, Palantir could go below 21. The problem is, after the Google and Microsoft earnings, which basically confirmed that there was still a lot of interest in AI spend.
Yep.
My thing was, hey, wait a second. That means that if Palantir's earnings comes up strong, which likely is to happen for a lot of these SaaS companies, that could mean that the stock stays above that $21 and I end up basically losing that. And I'm like, nah, I'm not going to take that risk. You know, if you see a certain industry moving in a certain direction in the short term and you only have a short duration option, don't fuck around. You don't need to be greedy. You know, I'm not greedy. So I came out ahead with $300. I'll take it.
300 that you made.
I put it into Snowflake. I bought options on Snowflake. I bought some leaps. What? I believe in Snowflake, man. I'm telling you.
So you use Palantir's demise to buy Snowflake. I love it.
I didn't use Palantir's demise. I basically have $300 extra, right? So
dude, Snowflake's gonna do well. It's oversold. It's gonna do well.
Oh yeah. It's RSI was in the toilet.
There's no way Snowflake's staying in the 150s for the next 6 months.
Yeah, Snow Summit is coming up. You know, I think a lot of people are going to be highlighting it. The other thing that I saw was some people, dude, Brad Gerstner is getting shit on Twitter like bad.
Yeah, but he has a bunch of he got Google wrong, I would say objectively. Everything else he got right. Tesla's right. Meta's right. Snowflake's wrong right now, but it's not going to stay at 150. It'll be but his average, I don't know what his average is, but I think it's like 300. I could be wrong on that one.
No, I think he was in it during like the VC phase. So he's in it way ahead.
If he was in the VC, okay, so then
yeah, I mean, he might have doubled down. I don't know, but he most of his position is from those. Pull
up his fund. He has Uber correct. He got Uber correct. He pretty much got everything right, in my opinion. Microsoft, Uber, except Google. He's just been so vocally against Google. That one.
I mean, you know that he gave them their flowers, though. Basically,
he did. Yeah. But he wasn't short against them. That's the thing. Like, he didn't invest in them, but he wasn't short. So that's also like, did you really lose?
Right? By the way, I'm going to send you this link. You should really have this highlighted. This actually shows you all the like among all the big what is it they called? The big guys, who owns what among the top investors, you know? So basically this way you can actually see if there's like a trend, like Seth Klarman, right? This is Seth Klarman's portfolio as of, and they give you the date right here, right? So which one is Altimeter Capital? Let me see if I can find Altimeter, or is it Brad Gertzner? Let me see, Brad. No, do.
What'd you guys eat for dinner? Put it in the chat. I haven't had dinner yet, so.
Altimeter Growth. No, that's not it. Let me see. Let me go back.
You can also go on
just
Whale Wisdom. Whale Wisdom has this shit.
Yeah. Yeah, Ramaswamy, he bought this right here. So a lot of sells. Look at this. 91 sellouts. All these people sold out of Snowflake recently. So insiders, you can see Slootman was selling.
The Slootman leaving thing, dude, that was just, I don't think anyone expected it. That's also the reason the stock's down. No one expected that shit.
Yeah.
Dude,
See.
Papa John's. I love Papa John's. Love Papa John's.
Okay, so here's Snowflake.
Pizza rolls, jalapeno peppers or poppers.
Research.
Okay. I ate a Carteret hat. Dude, someone said I'm not allowed to wear a Carhartt hat because I'm not a blue collar worker. And
what?
I work with my hands all day with the cowbell, so I feel like I am.
What are you appropriating? You're appropriating culture or something?
No, apparently Carhartt hats are supposed to be for blue collar workers, but I am a blue collar worker.
Oh shit! Look, Altimeter actually sold 3 million shares, which is
of Snowflake.
Of Snowflake.
No,
but
that was,
it's
wait, when did they do this shit?
Let me look. History. Fucking.
Hopefully it was before Slootman left, dude. Did
Admit
talk about SoFi? Yes. For the first 10 minutes, we talked about SoFi. I've got 6,000 of options on these guys on Monday, trying to turn that into 10,000. So let's see what happens.
Hold on 1 second. Let me see his largest position. Rank number 1. So his largest position is in Snowflake. I don't know when he sold. I'd have to find out from that 13.
Shares. So they have, hold on, they have 12 million shares. They have 2 billion of Snowflake.
Yeah. 2.4 billion in Snowflake. Yeah. So the portfolio went from 44% Snowflake to 41% Snowflake.
Hold on. So Snowflake, Meta, Uber, Microsoft, Nvidia, he all got right. Amazon, Tesla, he got
right. Confluent right. He got Confluent right.
Pinduoduo, obviously.
Pinduoduo got
best Chinese company. He got
Amazon. Amazon, he got right. You know, he's got Tesla, but it's not a big portion of his portfolio.
Dude, he basically owns the NASDAQ. That's what the fuck. He owns the NASDAQ with Snowflake.
He just owns the top companies there, with the exception of Snowflake. And Confluent is not that big either.
But see, this is the thing about all these fund managers we look up to, right? They just own good companies, and then they have 1 or 2 plays that are different. In his case, his play was Snowflake, and we'll see if that works. But he just owns the NASDAQ. That's it.
Yeah. Well, not really, dude. NASDAQ has a lot of companies.
No, but I mean the top 10, right? Like he owns the top 10. He owns the Max 7 with a couple of different names. That's it. Like this is not some unique differentiated portfolio.
Let's see. Closed out. Added to.
Okay, let's do this. I have an idea. This will be the last thing we do. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen right now. Okay. You and me are going to do this right now. You and me have to come up with a portfolio of 10 companies from today to outperform for the next year. What are your names? I'll list mine. You list yours.
Nah, man, I'm not going to do this with you right this second.
All right, I'm going Palantir, Hood, MicroStrategy.
Every one of these, it's like a fucking stab in the heart, bro. It's like maybe not Meta. Okay.
Meta, fucking Nvidia, fucking honestly, I'll put some Snowflake in there because that bitch is sold off, and so it's gonna do well. Fucking I don't know. Do we do this one? Do we get the
Which one?
Tesla? This is not my real portfolio, guys. I'm just throwing random shit out there, but definitely Palantir and Hood. I think over the next year, those and Meta, because the Meta dip is just too good. Palantir, Hood, and Meta, those would be my 3. All right, put 3 in the chat, guys. If you had to pick 3, Kris, if you had to pick 3, make it simple. 3 stocks over the next.
Okay, Meta. I'll do 5. How about that? I'll do 5. Meta, Snowflake, Amazon.
Oh, I forgot about Amazon.
Google, ServiceNow.
Oh, now.
Yeah, ServiceNow.
That's 5.
There are a couple more, but I'll leave them out. That's fine.
So basically, you would own the Nasdaq besides Snowflake.
Palo Alto. You
Yeah,
put that on
that's
there.
another one good too. Yeah.
Celsius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we got in the chat? We have Amazon. Dude, I feel like we have to look at Baba. I feel like we got to look at Baba.
Nah, man.
I know it's China, but I feel like we got to look at Baba, dude.
Why?
It's stupid. I was talking to a guy.
Put Google on there for me as well if Google's not already on there.
I was talking to a guy who's worth a lot of money, and he was just like, dude, I have so much Baba, even though it's fucking stupid. He's from the Middle East. This guy's like so rich. And he's just like, I have so much Baba, but this thing won't ever move. But he's like, it's undervalued. I'm like, I know, but it's not moving.
The problem is trying to get like the Chinese to do anything, like because of the China influence. A lot of people are staying the hell away because there's a huge risk with the Chinese government cracking down and coming after these guys. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I wouldn't buy Baba. I don't have a ton of money to make a decent position in them, but still, it's like, if you guys haven't gone through the Baba financials, you should look through it. It's stupid. The market cap, the cash they have on hand, free cash flow. But it's China stuff.
Yeah.
Amazon 4. I've been hearing about 4 more. I need to look more into those guys. 4.
Yeah.
All right. That's it for us. 405 people at 12:22 a.m. Thank you for being here today. Hope you guys enjoyed. This was an impromptu Saturday stream. I think we'll do it every Saturday, and maybe
You know what I should have done? I should have fucking put in Pelosi Capital. Basically, whatever fucking Pelosi owns, that's the one. I think she's beat the S&P 500 like there is no tomorrow, bro.
Pelosi's making sure that wealth tax never passes, dude. She's not going to get her shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, by the way, it's on people who have $100 million net worth. That's what I found out. So it's not to everybody that 25%. It's if you have 100 million in assets.
Back in the day, I'd be okay with it, but my goal is to get to 100 million.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like,
so you know,
I want to be a 100 millionaire. So
yeah, we'll see.
What happens. All right, thank you, everybody. I'll be back again for the market open on Monday, SoFi, 7:15 a.m. Be there. It'll be a big day, and yeah, next Saturday we'll do this as well and keep things going.
Later.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. Good night.
Damn, that shit was 3 hours.